stuck screen. But I think we got past it a little bit. The guy today explained to me what's going on.
Ronnie just came in.
I see Ronnie.
Ronnie's in, huh?
Hey, everybody. Good evening.
Hi, Ron.
Hi, Ronnie.
How's
Hi, Ron.
everybody doing?
Ronnie's been out in the shop turning pens this week.
We got a whole bunch of pins this week. I wanted to thank everybody. Let's see what the list says. It's getting so. Miss Brenda Thornton, Gary Bodenhausen, Dan Wright, and Craig Chatterton. A big thank you to all of y'all. Y'all are making this happen along with everybody else. So thank you very much for everybody that's going to receive these pens.
How many you got now, Ronnie?
As it stands right now, I have 220.
Wow.
A few weeks back, I ordered 100 of those bags thinking I was going to have plenty. And with the influx of what I got this week, I ordered 200 more bags. And if I have to, I'll order more bags.
All right.
So thanks to everybody.
Yesterday, Ronnie and I were talking, and he says, I'll be caught up. And I said, Ronnie, here's the positive. On Freedom Pens, you never catch up. We have too many troops protecting our freedom. We owe them too much of a thank you. And we can continue to get our membership to get involved and send us pens. Because, hey, his grandson is going to make contact with another 1,000 people when he moves. And they all deserve what we've given him. So that's what we're doing. Building up not a stockpile, but enough to cover all the troops. And remember, he's collecting for the Marines. We have a guy collecting for the Army, a guy collecting for the Air Force, and a guy collecting for the Navy. And one day we're going to bump into somebody that'll handle Coast Guard. But we get a lot of action, a lot of participation.
Oh, they know that. I already told them.
This week was abnormal for getting in photographs for our gallery and our newsletter and our website. Just, I couldn't believe it. And then I cut it off on Tuesday night. If I don't have it by Tuesday night, it goes into next week's thing. I got 4 since last night. And they'll go into next week's drawing or demonstration or gallery, whatever you wish to call it. Got some beautiful work coming in, but did I get yours? That's what I'm looking for, yours. Brenda's sending in stuff, and I got to remind you folks, I need it sent to our email address, not Facebook or the website. If you want us to use it in this gallery, it's got to go to our email address, worldwidewoodturners@gmail.com. Would like to get more work. It's a brain thing. It gets people to start thinking about what they're turning and how they're turning, and see what you're turning. And just like Ronnie's turning every day this week, Ronnie's been working on pens. Ronnie, we would like to see some photographs when you get your pens done.
I am going to try to lay them all out. I don't know how I'm going to shoot a photo of all of these pens. So what we might have to do is do it in 3 or 4 photos, you know?
I'm all right with that. Hey, if it takes 20 photographs, I'm okay with that.
Whatever it takes. A big thank you to everybody. So,
Well, they're getting involved. That's what we want to do. Hey, speaking about getting involved, we're cranking up a bowl challenge. Now, this came from several members in the last couple of weeks. Other clubs do challenges, and we've asked you to make bottle stoppers and a few other things. Let's crank it up in the beginning of the year for bowls. And it'll be 6 inches and smaller. and 6 inches and larger. That's the 2 categories. But the subcategories are novice and seasoned. And when you submit it, you have to tell me, just like with our gallery, if you're a novice or you're seasoned. You have to let me know, and then we know where to put your pieces at. But that's going to be the bold challenge for 2022. And I'd like to see what gets turned. I really do.
He just came in.
You folks are going to spend some stuff that's outrageous. And remember, the details make the project. So if you think, oh, I'm done, think about burning a line, cutting a line, putting a groove, carving in some basket weave. When you start that on these turn pieces, it totally changes their presentation. Really does.
Eddie, we got a question in the chat.
What's that question, Miss Brenda?
It says, what's the cutoff between novice and seasoned?
It's what feels good in your belly. If you feel like you can run with the big dogs, go after them. If you feel like the big dogs have to be up on a porch, pick novice. But
Wolf.
woof.
Really?
Did that help somebody that asked the question? I can't say you've been turning for a year. We've seen work, pardon me, from guys been turning 3-4 months that just blow your mind because they got the knack. And if you got the knack and you got the eye and you understand it's what in your heart that matters, it's not in the book and it's not a demonstration or whatever, it's what you can do. That's what we want to see. So if you think you can run with the big dogs, get out there and run.
Hey, Eddie.
Go. Hey, Dane.
Hey,
Dave.
Hey, how doing?
Dane, did Matt Harbor get a hold of you today?
Yeah, he and I talked. He's stepping in for us.
Fill in for our demonstration tonight?
Yes.
It's good. That's what the club's all about. We fill in for each other when it's need to be.
Right.
So, all right. And what are you up next week?
Cade's up next week, and then I'm on for the third.
Third week. I love when there's a couple out front. I really love that. And
Well,
folks, we got room.
I've got them booked through December 1st.
All right.
Sweet.
And it's
Hey,
there's-
everyone.
Hey, Gabe.
hey, look at that.
Cash. Hey, Cash.
The miniature Turner's with us.
I can just see in first grade giving demos.
I've
Yeah.
seen dinosaurs already.
I know. He's getting
Hey.
huge.
Hey,
Pokemon.
Trey, can you set me up for co-host?
Debbie Trace does that. All right. Boy, he's beautiful.
Hey,
Oh,
buddy.
man.
He's a real cute patootie.
Yep. See how you fall in love with him and don't let go.
Mhm.
I got this past Sunday, I got to go to the birthday party for my 1-year-old great grandson.
All right.
1 year old. He can say bye-bye. He can say dada. And he walks like a champ. I mean, he gets, and if he gets down on his butt, it's right back up again. And he climb up. And here's the scary part. I watched him climb up into full-size chair and then turn around to get up on a table. His mama says, I don't think I want a second. And I said, oh, yeah, you will. Give it a few days. You got to live through this. But he's beautiful, beautiful boy, really is. It's fun when you have that to play around with and freshen you up. That's what it is. We've got 24 pieces in the turning of the week. So stick around and we're going to show you the turning of the week twice and no audio. Somebody asked me last week, why don't we comment? Because we don't want to influence what you see with comments and names and all this. It's the work you see that matters, and their ingenuity, their design, their technique, their finish, presentation, all that is what you're judging it on. We'll show it to you twice, and then we'll have a vote. And when the vote is in, then we'll show it to you one more time, and this time it'll have all the names on it, not just the winner. I will show you all the names, and we'll stop it where the winner is. And I said winner twice. It's not a winner, it's the selection. The selection that you pick will be what we show. There's no prizes. Do you remember that? We promise everybody a pay raise, but never happens. Let me see what else we have. Oh, somebody asked last week in a note to me about putting information in the chat. And I said, certainly, that is open and free. The chat like has not any boundaries on it. In the Tennessee area, Wood Turns has got a demonstration coming up or a symposium type program coming up. I don't have any details on it. I got asked if I'd like to attend, and I can't travel right now. Unless they get within about an hour of the hospital, and you know, I can make it then. But you can put all the information in the chat, just like if you're looking for a demonstrator or somebody talks about, I make these and I sell them, or where can I get information on building such and such. That's all available in our chat. And the guy that called me asked me if I remember, this is, man, remembering ain't easy. If I remember a threading jig I built that was very much like Bonnie Klein's threading jig. In fact, the cutter I used was from Bonnie Klein because it's a really pointy multi-spurred router bit. And that bit goes, to get this right, that bit goes in a chuck on the lathe, and the jar or box, whatever you're going to lid, is on another device out in front on your tool rest, and you just turn it in to grind it, and it's threaded. Mine's 3/4 10 maybe. I'd like to go to 1 inch on that threaded rod. I got to play with it and see if I can build another one. And the one I have now was made to sit on a block on the ways. When this guy said, do I remember the one I had that mounted on a tool rest? I went looking for it today. I found it in a disaster out there. No, I have the bolt down on a platform. I'm finding a piece of rod before I get rid of this welder. I want to weld a 1 inch post on it so it slips in the tool rest. It's a handy way to do threads. And when you see this, if you got a friend that welds, or you got some JB Weld and you're brave, you can put one of these together really easy. All hardware store parts, all hardware store parts. And maybe I do have a 1 inch rod on it because it rolls into the back of threads into a chuck. You see, makes your brain work. What else we got coming up tonight? Tonight. Wow, y'all gonna be quiet.
Crickets. An order of crickets.
Eddie?
I'm here. Go ahead, Gary.
Yeah, that's scary. Matt had helped me, and then phone call with you on microwave drying of bowls, twice turned, first one. And I've got an update that I would like to present, but I would like Matt to be on when we do it, when I do it.
All right.
I've found a link to an article by Virginia Tech that this kind of outlines the drying of different types of wood to minimize cracking.
Matt just came in, guys.
Oh, okay.
Just came in.
So I think that some people might that do microwaving of different types of wood. It might be beneficial.
Good. All right. Hey, we share info. That's what we're here for, sharing info. And I get in trouble. I picked up a block that was wet since the storm, and it looked in pretty good shape. The wife caught me in a microwave Monday morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, she didn't know I was doing it until she had a big pot of water to make tea. And she opened the door and said, all right, what the, and she used a bad word, is going on here? And what can you say? Well, I don't know how that got in there. Didn't work. I think it blew in with the storm.
Eddie, are you having any issues with anything that you need to get rust off of?
Oh yeah, I got piles of it, man. I mean,
Because
piles of
I
it.
ordered some cleaner and it came in last week, and my bandsaw and my drill press, cast iron, of course, and they were just, the rust was just on, immediately rusted over when it got wet. So I sprayed it with this chemical and let it sit for a minute, and you hit it with a Scotch-Brite and it just comes right off.
Wow.
And it's some kind of acid, because you can tell it needs to be ventilated. It's got a little pretty good odor to it, but it works really well. It's made by the same company that makes the bit cleaner. If you're interested, I'll go get it and let you look at it. It's a little aerosol pump bottle.
We'd like to see it tonight, not
Is
not
that
just me,
Bosch?
for everybody.
But I've been using the same company product to clean drill bits and stuff that gets the sap off the bits really well.
All right. Billy
You'll get it.
Dillard's in Houma, Louisiana. Houma took a bad hit from Hurricane Ida. I mean, a bad hit. I had so many friends in that part of the fishing and seafood world, and some of those towns are just gone. Not damaged, they're gone. And some of those folks will never come back. It's a shame. Really is. Hey, we talked last, I gotta jump off the boat here for a minute. We talked last week, and it got really hot, about a contact sheet. And today, when Matt Harbor called me and said, hey, how can I get a hold of Dane? I know Dane and I talked last week, and I went through the recent calls on my telephone and all that, and I couldn't find his phone number. And then I went through emails, and I couldn't find a contact sheet for email. Then I thought, we talked about this project, and this is just one incident where it would be beneficial if we had a contact sheet. Before you get nervous, before you get scared, I want to show you what I'm talking about. This is what information we will collect. Your name, your address, city and state zip code, the phone number. Now, if you have a home phone and a cell phone, I don't have a home phone. Put it in there and just scratch out which one you have or don't have. So if I see cell still open, you put a number in there, I'll know that's how you get on your cell phone. And I can use that to send you a message, or you can use to send someone else a message. And then your email address. And somehow I put that in the wrong spot today. Let me take a look at that. I got CAPN Eddie Castellan @ and you see the space right there at gmail.com. If you put that space in there, that won't work. You can't send anything to that email if that space is in there. If you take the space out, you can use it. We're putting that space in to prevent bots from jumping on, getting a copy of this, scanning it, and using the email addresses. It's just one step to eliminating the bot attack. It might work. If it doesn't work, we'll take it off our website. But it's a way we can do this to get some input from the members so that you can find the member that you need for a certain reason. And this is club-wide, not mandatory. We won't do a membership list and all that because of the bots.
Yeah, my only concern is isolating it from the web. I don't want spiders to be able to harvest it, and they will harvest phone numbers too. I don't want calls on my cell, from spammers. So that's my concern. is as long as we isolate it from being reachable, by the spiders, by the bots, then I'm okay with whatever form we put it on.
It's going to be a PDF.
Well, that's okay.
Um,
I mean, they can still harvest that. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but you have to manually go in and harvest it, and the space is in there. You can do the same thing with your phone number. You can put a few numbers after your phone number. It really confuses it.
Hey, Dave, did you get an email from me about this?
No, I didn't. At least I don't believe. Oh, yes, I did. I got something from you the same day, last week, Wednesday.
Okay.
And yes, I understood what you were saying during the meeting, and I understood what you were saying during the email you sent me. As a matter of fact, I put something on the website as a test. I want to see what's going to happen with it. If you go to the contact page at the moment, the bottom of the contact page, there's a form. And the reason for the form is you're supposed to simply put your email address in and a silly comment that I've got there and a password. And my theory is what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it up. The question is, how much of a pain in the neck is it for people? And do they hate it? But if you go there, you'll see that under the subject, you'll put in the password. The password will be something easy like Captain. Guess why that's easy, right?
Okay.
Don't laugh too much, Eddie. Anyway, Captain might be the password. Put it in the subject as long as it's there. It'll then send an email back to whoever's address has been put there, and it'll have a link connected to it. Now, I've set it up so that it actually goes out from a location where it can't be accessed lower in the website directories, and it copies something to a new location, and it leaves it up there for one day. Then it deletes it. So it shouldn't be sitting there with a spot for the bots to easily locate, find, and copy.
Okay, great.
What do you think about that, Matt? Does that sound reasonable?
Yeah, yeah, it does. As long as if there's a password that isolates it, that means a bot can't get at it. So
Right.
yeah.
Okay, so Dave, run me through this. How do I give you my information?
Well, to get the information, why don't we just put it in the right in the chat today, because I noticed I didn't get any information from anybody last week. So just put it in the chat if you want the information there. Before I put the chat on the internet, though, I'm going to delete all that stuff, so it won't be sitting in the chat for this week. And I'll use that, and I'll make a PDF. It'll look basically like what you're describing with everybody's information listed. Only provide what you want. If you only want to provide an email, that's fine. You've got to provide your name and at least one item with it that can be used to contact. A phone number or an email, or a phone number, email, and address. I don't really care, but I'll put it together. And next week, I'll give everybody the password. But again, it'll be a silly, simple password like Captain, and you'll put it in the subject line and nothing else. And then I'll know for sure the software I put together will know that that's the password. It's in the subject line, and it's got the standard content in the area below. It'll send you back an email at the address you gave, and that address will have a link to it that you can click. And when you click that, it'll download the PDF to your computer.
So if I save the chat tonight, I'll have everybody's information.
Actually, if everybody puts it in, you'll have it if you take the chat.
I'm
Then we don't
saving
even
right
need to go
now
through the
just in case
process.
something happens. I'm saving
There you
right
go.
now just in case something happens.
Well, don't save it right now. You've only got 3 names at the moment.
I'm kidding. I'm teasing, Dave. I'm teasing.
Well,
Anyway,
it'd be
no,
simple.
that's perfectly fine. If we all put it in the chat and before we leave, we save. And I'm going to delete it before I put that information into the chat area on the website. So your information won't be sitting there.
There you go. Hey, we're making this click. It's even better than I thought today because I was doing all the work. As simple as that could be. Simple. I love that simple thing. All right, but hey, just, we had a member offering to bail out the club tonight for a demo. And that happened because we could get a hold of people and talk to them. So we want you back, we want you in the program. Remember, it's voluntary. It has no impact whatsoever on your membership or what you do or how we think about you, or anything else. It's completely voluntary. If you think it's an intrusion or whatever, stay away. Don't do it. Put your name and your phone number in, put your name and just your address in, or whatever, or just leave it alone. Because that's what we're trying to do, is just share information and get our friends around. I was trying to explain to a guy this morning, he said, where's your Zoom show go? Worldwide. Doesn't get any simpler than that. We have members from the UK, from Peru, from Australia, Canada, all over the place. So, and it's clicking. It's doing what we thought it should do about 2 years ago. And now we're clicking, which is really fun. 20 after the hour. I told you about the contact sheet, the bowl challenge. The gallery's growing. We're going to show you the gallery at 7 p.m. Following the gallery, we'll be voting while Matt does a demonstration for us. How's that? And then we'll continue with some gallery after that. But I say again, gallery being sent in to the club email address, worldwidewoodturners@gmail.com. It's as simple to do that as it's actually simpler to do that than put it into Facebook. I don't have a problem with Facebook, but I can't go there, capture a photograph and use it for our gallery and our newsletter. I'm trying to avoid some problems we can have with that. So I'm not going to go there and do it. If you can email it to me. The club address, worldwidewoodturners@gmail.com. And we'll use those photos. And boy, I tell you, y'all making me feel so bad with some of the stuff you're showing us. Man,
Eddie, I have a discussion on color pen to talk about too.
all right, go ahead again, chat.
Okay,
Trace.
I have a discussion on color pencils.
Oh, yeah.
Just talk about the different types and let other people chime in on it too. So it's just an open discussion on color pencils.
All right. We do that. Colored pencils. You told me about that the other day. And really, it left, the bus left and it never
Are you
looked back
talking
to see
about using them to color work, or are you talking about using them in resin to make pieces from?
Using them to color work.
Ah, okay, good.
Okay, because last week there were a couple people, and I won't mention names, they had showed a piece in that had some color pencil on it. And I asked them, what kind of pencil? Color pencil. And they said, what do you mean, what kind? And there's actually 3 different types. So I wanted to just talk about the different types, and I'm sure some other people know more about than I. Just wanted to have a brief discussion on color pencils.
I've always been afraid to use them because I'm afraid
coloring-
the finish bleeds them.
No, it won't bleed them any more than anything else.
Yeah, I
Especially
agree.
the
I
water-
agree. I agree with Trey. Yep. Yeah,
And
like,
the new color pencil,
I'm sorry, go on, Trey.
the new ones are pretty light fast too. So it's actually a not a bad medium to add color to work.
Well, now
No,
you got
I can show some, when we get to that point, I can show some of the things that I've done with it.
great. Great.
So,
Are these the pens that Doug Rowe goes to the dollar store and gets?
There depends. Well, I don't recommend the ones you buy from the dollar store, but yes, they're color pencils.
Okay. Oh, look, Sue's in with us tonight. How you, Sue?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I think I'm all right. Not too sure. All right, got a good
Well, you're
crowd
looking
in.
good, Eddie.
Andy, Gerald, John, Mr. Brown's in tonight. Brent is with us. Dick Mueller, boy, I tell you, the crowd, the folks we have in tonight, really good. I see a lot of names. If I don't mention your name, it's not, then I'm not picking on you. It's just, I see all these folks and I get a little overwhelmed as to how many of our friends gather with us on Wednesday nights. If you want to show something in gallery tonight, show it on the program. All you have to do is go over to the chat and type in, I have a gallery. And Dane Chandler, our guy that handles gallery, he's one of our co-hosts. He'll see it. He'll put you in a lineup, and then Dane will introduce you. When he does, start talking, because there's 60 or 80 people in the pack right now, and it's kind of hard to pick out a face to see who's talking. So it'll pop up on our screen when you do start talking. And I see a ton of people putting the information in the contact tonight. And if you're just coming in, don't realize what's going on. Not mandatory, but we're doing a contact list. And to get in it, be part of the contact list, voluntarily go to chat and put in the information you want us to use. I got some folks that just have their name. I got some folks just didn't give us much else. But let's see, Cade's got his name in there, and he's got his email in there, and his phone number in there. So he's up there. Bob Grinstead's in there right now. I'm not picking on people and selecting folks out. It's what I see there. So get in the program if you're in there. Dane, do we have any gallery tonight?
Yeah, we got a couple popped in. Let's
Who'd be?
let's go to Joaquin here. He's got something outrageous to show us, he says.
I do.
Outrageous?
I do. You mentioned outrageous pieces. This is a vase for hollow form. This is Cherry Burley.
That's outrageous.
That is beautiful.
And I actually had to turn this on 2 axes. It's from a burled branch. And you can just see that you can just barely tell that it's on 2 axes. It was the only way I could save any of it. So I had to tilt it like this in order to keep this section, and then turn it straight on center to keep this section. I'm calling this Rift.
Hey, that's beautiful, man. That's beautiful.
It's gorgeous.
That looks great. I would have left it in the firewood.
That's pretty awesome.
I'd be
It
afraid
was
of that
given
one
to me
myself.
by another turner who said this is just firewood, and I said, let me see what I could do with it. And I was talking to another turner who does miniature vases, and I thought about this piece of wood, and I thought, well, maybe I'll cut it in half and do a mini. And then I got to looking at it, and then I got it between centers, and one thing led to another, and here it is.
It is gorgeous. Of course, you're going to send us a good photograph
Already
for our
mentioned
gallery,
pictures,
correct?
Mehdi. I already sent you pictures.
Oh, you did it today?
I did it just about 10 minutes ago because you reminded us.
Okay. Yeah.
That
Yeah,
is
well
a
done.
piece.
Even a lip up there.
That is one gorgeous piece.
Yes, it is.
Thank you.
That's cool.
I'm
Very
not
nice.
going
Yeah.
to tell you how scary it was
Yeah.
holding that together.
Now,
There was a
folks that are
considerable
looking at
amount
it,
of painter's tape involved.
yeah, folks looking at it would say that's a gorgeous piece of wood. No, folks, that's a gorgeous piece of work. You put it all together. It's great work and beautiful wood.
Beautiful artwork. Yeah. Yeah,
Yes.
that's gorgeous.
Thank you, Joaquin. Boy, that's a
Nice job.
piece. All right, who else we have? Dan?
Well, let's go see what Rich has got for us. Hey, Rich.
Hey, how you doing? You got me in there?
Yes, sir.
Oh, we're looking at you, sir.
All right. Well, I'm looking at Dane.
There you are.
You're up.
Try it again here.
Okay, what I got here is the neighbor had a Bradford pear had a limb break off of it. So I took and got some of the wood from her and made this little bowl.
That's nice.
That's very
That's
nice.
pretty.
That's pretty. That's real pretty.
Yeah, I made
That's
4 pieces, but I took 3 of them over to her and gave them to her. Then I made a few bottle stoppers too. I got some, I don't know what kind of wood it is, but I got different ones I'd made here.
Very,
I do know
Nice.
these cherry with a little walnut insert.
That's pretty.
Nice.
Those are nice.
That's
Yeah.
good.
They're pretty.
very nice.
That's all I got.
What'd you
All
use
right.
for a finish on everything, Rich?
That bowl has got a salad bowl finish on it. And the bottle stoppers, I think I just put wax on.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they all look good.
Nice.
Love that bowl.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Bowl's got simple lines, but it's gorgeous. Really nice.
I sent you some pictures, Eddie, of the other pieces that I'd made out of that same limb.
I have them and I want to refrain from saying where they're being used at because we don't want to tout one thing and the other.
That's fine.
But they're beautiful pieces, really. I'm
Thank you.
amazed. Thank you, Rich. All right,
Uh,
thanks a lot. Rich, and who you going to, Dane?
All right, we're gonna go to Brent.
Hey, Brent, you're on.
Hey, I had a whole bunch of resin that was getting old, so I decided to do a resin piece here and such. And so this is a piece that's this in this picture here. No, you can't really tell what it is, but it's a resin pour with a bunch of this in it and such. So I'm gonna change this light here. Can you tell?
Okay, it's blurred, so get it right back to where your face is.
Right
There
there.
you go.
Can you tell that is?
Yes, that looks good.
Oh, now you can see it. Oh, yeah.
Perfect.
That is
Oh,
neat.
yeah. Oh, my.
I love where it's transparent in some
Yes.
places. That's
Mhm.
Oh, my
Put your
goodness.
hand on the other side.
It's like a hand in a forest.
Yeah.
Boy.
all
Yeah,
right. Let's not get
a lit
started.
candle inside of that. Oh, my God. That would be like a,
Oh, yes, light that
oh,
thing
yeah,
up.
a light. Yeah, put a light in there.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I think
Through
this is gonna be the last resin piece I think I do. Doug Moore makes this stuff look easy, but boy, this is I wrestled this thing and wrestled. This
Dude, it looks
hard
great.
work, But,
Gorgeous.
but,
Very nice.
but
I would say it's worth the wrestle.
I don't know. Wood seems so much easier to work with. So, but,
Yeah, you got to turn
Yeah,
that
it's
resin
gorgeous.
fast. You know, keep your speed up really fast.
yeah, but it's hard to keep from chipping and stuff. But it was a.
It is absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you much. Thank you much.
Thank you, Brent. Appreciate you.
Was that
sharing
with
this
a
tonight.
pressure pot, Brent?
Oh, yeah, it was in a pressure pot. Actually, this was the maximum size I could squeeze into my pressure pot and stuff, so.
What'd you have for the center? Just something for a filler?
Well, actually, what I did, I turned a big old cottonwood bucket for the outside of this thing, and then another cottonwood plug for the inside, and then filled the inside of that with the resin. So I had a vacant piece in the middle and such. So it was. I'm not sure how I can describe it, but I made a bucket, and then I just turned the bucket away, and then inside away.
It's nice though.
Yeah, it came out really nice.
It was a challenge. So I'm done with the resin fill.
All right. We got a photograph. We have a photograph coming, I believe, right?
You will get a photograph. Yes.
Thank you, sir. I love putting them on the spot with this. Oh, yeah, we got one coming. Yes, Brent did the gyroscope, the piece he calls gyro that was on the front page of our newsletter last month, because it work. And that's when I say you get the photo to us, it's the way of kind of begging you send the photo in. Who's up
Right.
next, Dane?
All right, well, let's go to Jim Selby here. Hey, Jim.
Jim, I got something in from Jim
How you
today.
doing?
Hey,
I forward and
Hold it up. There you go.
so
a pin. I printed a label and poured the blank. And so it's dog paws, if you can tell that. And
I got a much better photograph coming up in the gallery next month. And
Yeah,
that thing
it's
is next week.
it turned out pretty good. It's kind of big, but
Very nice.
thank you.
I like it.
It's not big for real men.
It's going to a lady at school.
Oh, well.
Very nice.
Thank you, Jim.
Thanks, Jim.
Beautiful work. That is a gorgeous pen.
Where did you find the small dog to make the paw marks?
He lives down the street.
Hard to find his little bitty dog. All right, Trace is in the bullpen right now. What's up, Trace?
Well, I thought I said I had something to show, so let me, okay, here's some bottle stoppers I just did. Seasonal bottle stoppers. This is 2x4 construction material.
I was just gonna ask that. It looked pretty open.
That makes
Yeah,
them
it's good.
expensive bottle stoppers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a lot of wood, a lot of money in the wood.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very nice.
So
I like them.
Quadruplets.
Very nice.
See, folks, simple project, and I'm not saying it's a simple project.
it is a simple project.
Okay. I'm not supposed to say it about galleries, but this is the kind of thing that will make somebody where you go for dinner for Thanksgiving or the holidays or whatever. This makes people really take notice of what you do and appreciate what you give them. Those are beautiful, just beautiful.
Yeah, well done. Very well done.
Thank you, Trace.
All right. Well, let's go back to Gary. He wants to talk about drying wood in a microwave.
Gary, you're on.
No,
You're
We
muted,
don't hear
Matty.
you, Gary.
Okay, yep.
There you go.
Matt, are you on also? Right now?
yeah, he is.
I was hoping he'd be listening while I talk about this. When,
Yep, I'm listening, Gary. Yep.
okay, a couple of weeks ago or several weeks ago, I started asking questions about drying the twice turned bowls. And the wood that I had was white oak. And the microwave I got was a 1200 watts, so it was really a powerful one. And I started bowl number one. I did 5 different ones, but bowl number one, I was doing 50% for 4 minutes. And I started getting quite a few cracks. I dropped it to 3 minutes at 50% and got less, and then a little bit more. Well, I then, through trying to shorten a long story, I'm getting into lumbering logs, cutting them up. And through research there, I ran across an article from the Virginia Tech, the Votex, I think in Virginia, an article in it about, hang on with me, solar drying the wood, the lumber that you're milling from wet lumber to usable lumber. And in this one article, as I was reading through it, it came up with, and I am going to, if I can do multiple things at one time. Okay, I just sent out the link to the actual article and happened to be on page 5, table 1. The title of it was Safe Drying Rates for Northern American Hardwoods. And it turns out that white oak is the maximum rate is the least of all of the different hardwoods. They list white ash, beech, yellow birch, cherry, American elm, maple, red oak, white oak, gum, black gum, walnut, yellow poplar. And it turns out that the maximum rate of loss per day, that white oak was the least. They, for a 2-inch board, you can only lose 1% a day before you start getting into cracking. And so what I learned just from looking at that chart, that I was probably starting my experimentation and working on one of the hardest ones to keep from cracking.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like to me. You picked at one end of the spectrum, huh?
Yes, exactly. So if anybody is interested in trying to microwave different types of hardwood, this chart might give you a little bit of a relationship to where maybe you are doing some cherry and you've got down how fast you can dry cherry, and then you're going to go to oak or to walnut or something like that. This might give you a head start on how to dry another type of wood without doing a whole lot of cracking. So to me, it was just telling me I was, starting at one end, and maybe it will be interesting and valuable to somebody else. So I just wanted to throw it out. If it helps somebody, great.
Thanks,
Right,
Gary.
that's in our chat, folks. If you're looking for it, Gary just put the information in our chat. That's how we share things. And before you leave tonight, save the chat.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Gary.
Gary.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Gary.
Thanks.
Joaquin in chat says that he's been very successful drying cherry and maple in the microwave. Those are the primary woods that I've also dried in the microwave. I also have dried box elder, which is a soft maple, is a maple family, so that counts. So those woods tend to be on the softer and more close grained. Oak is an open grain wood, so I've not ever dried ash or oak in the microwave myself. So I suppose I should put a caveat in my own little document there that's on the website to that effect. But yep, very good, very cool information. Thanks.
Now, I just talking about drying wood in the microwave. I just went on the AAW website and pulled an article up on drying microwave drying wood.
We're looking at your elbow, sir. There you go.
Okay, now I got it fixed. Microwave drying wood, and what the guy did is he went in, he put the wood in the microwave. He put a bowl of water in with what he was drying. He said he put a big mug of water in there, and then he dried it for 15 minutes on high, and left it until everything cooled back down. He said it could take an hour for everything to cool back down. And the objective of this is that the moisture from the water that's in the microwave that you're boiling out in that mug of water or bowl of water it'll have a lot of moisture on the outside and will be absorbed into the outside of the wood to keep it from drying too fast.
Right.
Where it forces the inside to dry. And that was one of the articles on the AEW website. It was in one of their journals.
Do you still have that, Trey?
I just pulled it up. I can't post it because it's behind the
Sure, you gotta log in.
AEW.
What kind of wood was that, Trey?
You have to log into the AEW. He was talking about generally as a general process of drying wood in the microwave. And the objective of it is to make sure that the outside of the wood doesn't dry too fast and cause it to crack. So he basically introduced a lot of humidity in the outside of it where he forced the wood from the inside of the wood out. And it makes perfectly good sense on what he's doing.
Yeah, the
So
only
he
issue,
put him
the only issue I would have with that, Trey, is the microwave tends to be a sort of closed environment. So what's to prevent the wood from reabsorbing that moisture? You know what I mean?
He wants the outside of the wood to reabsorb the moisture.
I see.
It won't get absorbed all the way into he wants the outside to reabsorb the moisture to keep the outside from drying and forcing the inside of the wood to dry is what he's doing. He's forcing the inside of the wood to dry first. and he wants the outside of the wood to stay moist while the inside is being dehumidified, taking the water out of the inside of it.
I see.
And he's trying,
The wood-
by doing that, it prevents the outside from checking.
Yeah, the wood cells will never take on any more moisture.
Yep.
When you're drying wood, you're not drying free water in the wood. You're drying cellular water that's inside the cells of the wood, not in the straws of the wood.
Yep.
Exactly. You can't put cellular water back in.
And I
Go
do
on.
know when I've looked a long time ago, when I looked at drying wood and looked at the rates and how do you dry wood, because I was looking at building a kiln. They had a long procedure of what they did in it, that, you know, you go up to this temperature, you maintain humidity, and they maintain the humidity in there for quite a while they try to force the moisture out from inside the piece. And then after a period of time, they'll, you know, drop the outside humidity to dry the outside.
Right.
Oh, we got some stuff to share tonight. Wow. And I'm glad you brought that up about the water microwave. You see, my bowl could have stayed in the microwave while she was heating that water for the tea. And, you know, 2 birds, 1 stone.
Yeah, that works
I
for
might
me.
I might need to keep an excerpt for this on my daily log, just to bail my ass out. Pardon me, but that's just what I'm gonna do.
So what kind of tea was it, Eddie, and what kind of wood?
The piece of wood was cherry, and I think it was some type of a chai tea.
Okay, so the tea would have taken on a delightful woody flavor, and the wood would have gotten some tannins from the tea. Sounds like a win to me.
Yeah,
Okay, now I understand. I got to take that excerpt out because you say wood.
As long as it's not in your
convincing
obituary,
to do there.
Eddie, as long as it's not in your obituary.
Yeah. You know
Hey,
who
Eddie,
I'm
one of
talking about
the-
too, don't you?
One of the people just chimed in the chat. They didn't know how to save the chat. You might just announce how to do that for people that don't know.
Okay. Dave Rose is with us. He's our master webmaster. But the chat we have up tonight that's got all these names and addresses in it, those parts of the chat will not appear on our website by this time. It takes about a week for Dave to fit this in his schedule and get this done. And remember, we don't pay Dave. He does this for us. But that's where the chat will be. Now, if you don't have the option, you might be on an Android type device or an iPad or something like that where it will not retain the chat. If you desperately need the chat and you can't save it, put that note in the chat and we'll send you an unedited version of it so you could use it. We'll work with you if we can. We're trying to keep this list. We're going to do our best to keep this list out of the hands of bots. So it doesn't get out and get you a ton of spam mail.
Eddie, I posted mine in a private chat to Dave.
Okay.
So
Dave?
anybody else could, so it you know, it couldn't accidentally go anywhere but to Dave only.
Okay. It's a way to look at it.
So somebody saving the chat would not get that.
Ah, that's right. You can't access private.
Is what I'm
PMs.
saying. They would not see it. Yeah, I sent it as a private chat, so.
All right. It's 13 minutes before the top of the hour. At the top of the hour, we're going to do the gallery for you tonight. As I was saying earlier, if you weren't here, we're going to do 2 plays of it. We'd like you to keep track of the one that you want to be the turning of the week. There's no prize. Pardon me, there's not one winner and 23 losers. It's the piece we have chosen that will affect our turning the most. And we're going to vote on that following that. And then following our demonstration, we'll show you the results of the vote. And then we'll show you the names of all the pieces that are up there. Some popped up here tonight and some will pop up next week. The rule on the gallery is I cut it off on Tuesday nights. If I get it by the time I close out on Tuesday night, it's in the gallery. After that, it goes in next week's gallery. And we'd like to break it out as novice and seasoned. Unfortunately, only one turner said they had a seasoned piece. And that was Brenda. I mean a novice piece. And that was Brenda. All the rest y'all decided to run with the big dogs, which is okay. Really okay. Anybody else up for gallery tonight, Dane?
Well, yeah, we got a good old boy from Georgia. Hey, Mark.
Georgia?
Hey,
Don't wake him up. Whatever you do, don't wake him up.
what? Okay, all right. Am I on for the gallery?
You're
Yes,
on.
sir.
Yes, sir. All right, let me go out to the table here. Hang on just a sec.
I did catch you sleeping.
I knew it. I knew it.
No,
It's
I'll
after
go out.
4 o'clock. He goes to sleep at 4 o'clock.
Yeah, but I'm up at 3:30 in the morning. Okay, let me switch this camera around. Okay, here we here's a couple funeral urns I just did.
Nice.
And
Yeah.
and my
Beautiful.
and my
Gorgeous.
just a second here. I'll take this off.
Very nice.
And they're threaded on the inside and on the finial.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
And that's and both of these are one coat of 3408 and buffed with Von-X. And that's my finish. But anyway, they're pretty nice.
Yes,
I
they are.
like it.
It's
They are
beautiful, just
beautiful,
gorgeous.
Mark. Beautiful.
And
What's
they'll
your
be
finials made from? Is that blackwood?
No, these are both ambrosia.
The finial?
The finial.
Your
Oh,
cap.
The collars are made from African blackwood. My
Okay.
I always make my finials from Gaboon ebony. Gaboon ebony turns a whole lot better than the African blackwood for me if I want to do fine detail.
Very
And then-
nice.
And behind there, you can see I'm working on more ornaments and stuff. So
Keep him busy.
that's it for me tonight.
Thank you, Mark.
Thanks for sharing, Mark.
Thank you.
Beautiful, Mark.
Very nice.
Now, Mark Soleil has got some videos on YouTube about wood slicing. He doesn't call it wood turning. He calls it wood slicing because if you've seen this demonstration, it's wood slicing. You can take a lot from a simple demonstration and give you a lot. Who's up next, Dane?
Well, we're at a lull at the moment.
Good. All
Unless
right.
Brenda's got some ice cream shovels she's got to show off.
Oh, yeah.
Brenda?
I didn't bring them upstairs with me, but
No, you didn't.
but I did make a couple little bowls.
Well, let's take a look at them.
My in the past, my brother gave me some treated lumber.
Yep.
I made him some of these little bowls. Well, his buddy just loved them. So he sent me home some more wood to turn for. So I made his buddy a couple little bowls.
Very nice.
That's a nice.
Yeah.
Very, very nice.
I finished them with the Parfex 3408.
I was just going to ask that. That's what it looks like.
Very
And,
nice.
Some of you weren't here when I first came on today. I did get a boo-boo today.
Oh.
Yeah, got me a nice big cut. And I'm
How'd you
not,
do
I'm not going to tell you how I did it because it was real stupid.
Okay, here's the deal. When you get hurt, it's never anything but real stupid.
It was the dumbest thing.
But you always learn from it.
Yes.
I've done it before.
Sometimes.
I used to say it on Hee Haw. It hurts when I do that, but don't do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Great.
Based on the look, based on the look on your face, I don't think you're going to do that in the future.
Well, no, not, I ain't gonna do nothing much in the
Not
near
on purpose, at
It
least.
hurts.
Hey, Brenda, by the way, that Eagle Bowl sold at that little craft bazaar the wife and I had. It was the very first item we sold all day.
Oh, yeah?
Yep, and we sold about half of what we're doing. So, hey, appreciate y'all's comments on that thing.
Lovely.
If there's an animal in the turning, Brenda's gonna see it.
Yeah. Well, let's go
Or
to,
a ghost.
I know somebody that's
Talk about
gonna
a
have an
birdhouse.
animal in a turning.
Oh, yeah. I know you're talking about.
Yeah. Hey, Bob, you animal?
Hey, how y'all doing?
Hi, Bob.
I got a piece here. I tried something different. So,
Oh.
Oh.
and
You
Yeah,
broke
you
it.
did.
Don't
You
move
broke it.
around
That's
too
what-
much. Don't move around too much. I'm trying to soak this thing in.
I did the back like this.
That is gorgeous.
How did you do that?
I cut it in half.
100%.
You detailed it out and then you cut it in half.
Yeah.
Put a
Well, I had
dowel,
planned to cut it in half.
yeah, put a dowel in the center and let it rotate.
Put that back up there.
It's got a nail in the center that's epoxied in. And I tilted it and put some nails in the bottom and epoxied them in to hold it in the stand. And not to be let down, not to ruin my image, I made a couple birdhouses.
All right. Now, now I'm feeling better.
Those are nice.
Those are
And
cute.
then I got this one.
Love it.
Very, very
Look
nice,
how
Bob.
thin. Look how
And
thin.
this
that
one.
is.
I love that top.
I'm not done yet.
No, you're not. I'm still
This is the
waiting.
red roof end of birdhouses.
Oh, I love it.
It looks like a hee-haw hat. That's what it
Yeah,
looks like, a hee-haw
that's for
hat.
red roof end for temporary birds.
There
My
you go.
grandparents used to stay at the Red Roof Inn all the time.
You
Love the red roof.
you mean transient birds?
Well, we got, this one's the motel one's for transients. The others are for permanents.
Thank you, Bob. Beautiful work tonight.
Thank you.
Beautiful work.
Thanks, Bob.
All right. We have about 5 minutes before we're going to go to the gallery and then our demonstration. Dane, pop up one. I know you got one there.
I'm bringing one. I think we got some ink pens to look at. Hey, Randall.
Randall, your turn.
Yep. Hang on, let me share. These are,
Oh, wow.
I made 3 pens for our pastor's family. These, the floss, on a kind of a stained glass. And,
Yeah, you nailed the stained glass.
Wow. That's nice. Beautiful.
That's really pretty.
Fabulous.
That's beautiful.
there's a second one here coming up.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah.
Did you have these on Instagram today?
I saw a presentation by John Underhill,
Oh my goodness.
and this is his pen. It's a stylus pen, so it has a like a stylus tip at the top.
Beautiful.
Yeah, if this doesn't stop your heart, nothing will.
That's
Heck yeah.
beautiful. Did you make a print and then roll it around the?
I cannot claim credit for the blanks. They were made by a gentleman named Mike from the International Association of Pen Turners.
Beautiful.
John Underhill did a presentation over the last weekend for the Chicago chapter of the IAP. He showed and demonstrated how to do vertical pen blanks
He takes small tubes that are vertical, puts makes up a label and glues it onto the brass tube, then dunks it into a clear acrylic and casts it label on blank, and then puts it in a pressure pot for a while, and that's how they come out. Both of those pens were that technique.
Hey, Randall, any chance you could put that in the chat, his name maybe, and how to watch him?
Unfortunately, it was not recorded. I zoomed into it, but I asked them and they said they were not going to record it. So you can buy the kit that he uses in his pressure pots. He sells the kit with stoppers and tubes and a one of two vertical ultra high density polyethylene to put in your pressure pot. They're available from Exotic Blanks.
P-Town Subby also has that.
We got 1 minute. Yeah, I think we have Jason that wants to do something. Is that correct, Dane?
Yes, that is correct. Jason, go ahead and start talking.
I'm here.
All right, let's rock and roll. Come on.
All right. So I just have a bunch of small drops of oak. So I got this little guy. And it turned out really nice until I was buffing it out. I had perfects on it. And I dropped it. Well, you can't tell from that side. It just turned out as a.
That's pretty neat to see, Brenda.
That's a groove. So that's a groove so that the spoon will have a place to rest.
There you go.
Point.
Just a little guy. This was just a log that was given to me a while back, and it's been sitting here, and I finally started chopping it up. So that's all I got. Just a log.
What kind of wood is it, Jason?
Scrub oak. So
What kind of wood?
scrub oak. At least that's what we call it out here. It doesn't grow straight.
Thank you, Jason. Appreciate that. All right, folks, at this time, and I'm going to pop this up so we can get it right. We're going to do this week's gallery. And this is a gallery that is of items that were sent to our email address, worldwidewoodturners@gmail.com. Folks sent these in, and with that, we put together a gallery. I'm going to mute everybody because we would rather not have any voiceover during the gallery. I don't want you to be influenced by names or voices. You look at the work and then pick the one you would like. We'll put a ballot up in a few minutes for you to do that. And here is our gallery. Oh, well, it says it's showing. It's not showing. All right. I have to get out of what I'm doing to go back to this again. We can pick this up in a few minutes. Matt Harbor's with us. Matt, what are you going to do for your demo tonight?
First thing I'm going to do is unmute.
Okay.
A number of us have been talking online about a challenge, a monthly challenge, and there was some discussion. And one of the things that I suggested was, we talked about doing basic bowls, and one of the things that I suggested was making a small bowl out of perhaps leftover wood on the chuck or something that you were going to throw out or whatever. So I don't know. Am I spotlighted at all? All I see is Eddie.
You are. You're spotlighted.
That's me. I see you. Saw you.
All right. So I'm going to assume I'm spotlighted. So, and I'm going to switch cameras here to this one. So these bowls are not very big. They're like little tiny bowls, knick-knack bowls, coin bowls, change bowls, whatever you want to call them. And, you know, you make them from whatever you've got laying around the shop, or a piece that, you know, maybe whatever's left after you've turned something bigger or something like that. And they're sellable and they're really useful. I mean, I've got one on my computer desk. I've got one I put change in and so on. You know, you can do it with any wood. This piece I have here on the lathe is a piece of box elder, soft maple, Acer Negundo. And I was turning it earlier today. I mean, it's pretty, but it's kind of punky. And when I got it down to where I was going to start doing the final shape, I've got pieces that move here. I've got cracks in it, and I was going to just pitch it. However, I've got enough here in the bottom to turn it into something. Okay. So that's what I'm going to show is I'm going to turn how to make a simple small bowl. And one of the reasons why I suggested doing this is the challenge is that anybody with any size lathe can make a small bowl. I mean, this thing is like, you know, 3-4 inches in diameter. Okay. You know, they can be, and they're useful for all kinds of things. You can put paper clips on them, you know what I mean? So, and anybody can turn them. So you're not restricted by lathe size and that kind of stuff. So,
All right.
Any questions so far?
Well, we're going to come back to you for the demonstration. We're going to do the gallery. I've got that worked out. I didn't have a button pushed.
All right, you ready?
Then we're going to do that right now. I got to do this to start the video. And then here comes the gallery.
Eddie, your video clicked off.
Yep. Okay. You're back on.
Okay, that was the first showing of the gallery. If you didn't pick out your pieces or you We've got a little over one by what you looked at. We're gonna run it one more time. This takes about 2.5 minutes. Then we're back to Matt Harbor, and we'll continue our demonstration. But right now, let's do it one more time. And that would turn us this week gallery. Our ballot will be up in a few moments. And like you to pick the one you believe. There's our gallery right there. And remember, we'll go all the way to number 24. So you're going to have 3 screens there, and you pick the ones you want.
You do have to put an answer in each one of the questions. And the first question is, like you look at number 1, it says not 1 through 9. You have, if you want number 10, you have to click on not 1 through 9 to start with. But you do have to take in it. You do have to answer every one of them, and every one of them has a not one of that group.
Okay, let's give it a whirl, gang. And now we're going to go back out to our demonstrator this week, and that's Matt Harbor, and he's got a project for us. Matt, we're back to you.
Oh,
I don't see a knot on 19 through 28.
Okay. I blew it. I don't have it on the last one. Just on the last one, just select number 28, which is not one of the options.
So that vote on 28 will not count.
So click on 28 if you don't want one of the higher numbers, click on 28. I'll correct it next week.
Okay, let's go back to Matt Harbor.
Well, why don't you wait a second, because this is going to be in front of everybody until I pull it down.
Okay.
They won't be
Well,
able
folks,
to see anything.
All right, folks, vote please. Pick the piece you believe is the most impressive for the week. And that's all, just the most impressive piece you see on the ballot. Now, as you can notice by the chat tonight, maybe, we've got a lot of names, address, phone numbers, emails, websites showing up. We will not be doing a membership list. So this is completely voluntary if you want to share information. You put the information in our chat, nowhere else. In our chat, our webmaster will be able to retrieve this information and use it in a document that all the members will be able to access. It will be a PDF, and we're trying to get it bot proof. That might not be easy to do, but we're working really hard at getting it bot proof. So they can't get in an email and spam you and all this stuff. So if you want to be involved, go to chat, put that in it, name, address, telephone, email, and website. And if you don't have any of it, whatever. Remember, again, it is voluntary. And we're just trying to get this info. We've had a situation where every week I get a phone call. Do you know how to get a hold of such and such? Can you get this guy? Can you get that guy? And I'll have this on my phone with me all the time, so I can look it up just like you can look it up. But that's how we're going to try to share the information what our members have. And it's critical that we have some of this for some of our members, especially folks that want to do gallery or even demonstrators, because folks want to know more about what you're doing and where it's at, how you did it, how you put the finish on. We've seen some beautiful work tonight with different finishes, different techniques and all that.
Let's do 30 more seconds.
30 seconds, then we'll shut down the vote and we'll get the answers. And while we're doing the demonstration, I'll call up that slide and I can show you that one first, and then we'll run through the whole list of names and who's on it. It's fair to everybody to do that. A minute ago, Matt Harbor started his demonstration by saying, these are small little bowls from, Ken Tippin won't let us use the term scrap lumber. It is unused turning wood. And he's talking about small bowls and pieces. We're going to have a bowl challenge in 2022. 2 categories, 6 inches and smaller and 6 inches and larger. It'll be for novice and seasoned turners. It's open for everybody. So if you got a scrap of wood, a block of wood, well, I said scrap, didn't I? I'm going to get beat up by Kim. But if you've got that, we'd like you to be involved in this challenge coming up. Are we ready, Trace?
Yeah, just a second. I looked at it and then I forgot the number because I was fixing to send you a chat. It's number 2.
Number 2?
Choice number 2.
The ornament, the urchin
Yeah, I
ornament.
agree. Yeah, I agree with them. They're fabulous work.
That's 17% of the vote. So, all right, we'll show it in a few moments. All right, go ahead, Matt. We're getting out of your way.
All righty then.
And I will say that the vote was very, very close because there was another one that was 1 point difference. So very close.
Yeah. All right, go ahead, Matt. We'll leave you alone.
Hey,
Okay,
Eddie, before we get started, can we
Yes.
mute? So Matt, we're going to mute everybody and then we need you to unmute yourself, okay?
Yep. All right, I'm unmuted. I'm going to throw this little screen up here so that that puts my contact information in the upper right there. It's from another other demonstration, of course, but anyway, there's my contact information. Okay, so what I've got here is this piece of box elder. Let me switch to this view here. And as I was turning it earlier, I noticed that I've got some cracks in it, and it's probably going to come apart on me if I try to do much more. So I'm going to try. I've done some super gluing down in here to see if I can't keep it together, and I'm going to trim it down to about here, and then I'm going to make my bottom here. Okay. So that's the first thing I've got to do is take this bit down to the point where I think I've got more stable wood, and I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna do that with my deep fluted bowl gouge. Switch to this one, and my deep fluted bowl gouge, and I'm gonna just use pull cuts, and I'm gonna come across like that across the lid. What I don't want to do is I don't want to just cut right into it into the middle of the piece to get rid of the waste, because then I'll have fragments flying around the shop, and that's always a bad plan. All right, any questions so far? All right, I'm going to wade in. And you can hear how unstable the wood is. Yeah, I got lost fragments there. So let's have a look. Okay, still good. And it is doing exactly what I thought it would do. It is coming apart. All right, let's see if I've got an edge I can use. All right, maybe a few more cuts here. Okay, so a word on these cuts. When I'm coming across the piece like this, I've got my tool at a fairly steep angle. I'm cutting with the bottom flute, of course, and I'm getting a fairly steep, good shear cut. There's almost no sanding required on this lip that I've done here. All right, so now I'm going to shape the outside. And let me switch to this camera here. Now, this was a piece that I was making in the shop a little earlier this afternoon for a shop purpose, but that's now changed. So I'm going to part it down under here, and I'm going to curve my bowl around underneath to meet where I'm going to part it. So I'm going to sort of start that and then curve the bowl around to it. And I'm going to use this tool here, which is a thin parting tool. And I've got it trimmed a little bit here. It's not exactly flat across it. It's a little slanted. I don't know if y'all can see that, but the tool itself is not straight across. It's a little slanted, and that lets me get in and undercut things. So that's what I'm going to do here now. This is a peeling cut rather than a scraping cut. Okay, that's good. So now I'm going to take this little ridge off and shape my bowl to the bottom. I'm going to curve it underneath so it doesn't look like it's going flat.
So right now, the high point on your angle of your parting tool was to the right.
Yeah, the high point is supposed to be on this side so that I can undercut it, the point of it, so that as I'm going in, I'm undercutting it a little bit. I mean, if I can, if I'm like this, then it's slanted this way a little bit. Okay, and if I turn the tool this way and go in, now the tool this bit is flat, but I've got a leading point that really cuts it well here going in. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but
well, it does. I like it.
Okay, all right, good. Yeah, that's like one of my favorite tools now. So I've got some. I'm going to see if I can't clean this up with a shearing cut a little bit here.
Joaquin just put a comment in chat that he was discussing this situation here with another turner today. And he states that there's as much market for 6 inches and under bowls as there is for bowls that are 16 inches and above. So,
well, and they're fun to make because you can, and one of the reasons why I was sort of pushing this as a challenge is that usually the wood is not that big a deal. And so you don't worry about messing things up, which gives you the freedom to experiment and try different shapes and experiment with form and so on. So now what I'm going to do Okay, the bottom of my bowl is going to be here. So, you know, I've got a good 1/2 inch or more here. So I can go deeper and shape the inside of my bowl more. So that's what I'm going to do next. So I'm going to use a cut that looks like this. I'm going to ride the bevel along like this and ride the bevel into the center. Now, a lot of people, and I had this discussion this past weekend with my own club at our meeting, is what they'll do is, I mean, and I've done this too, I certainly do this, is they'll aim the flute right at the center. And the problem with that is that when you get right to the center, there's very little wood there, and you sort of pull it out and you get a, you know, I don't know what you call that, but it tears the wood. However, if you get a shearing angle like this, so you're not aimed right at the center, you're aimed sort of, you've turned the tool a little bit, and you ride the bevel across like that, right to the center, you get a shearing cut all the way to the center, and you don't get that tear out in the middle. So that looks like this. And because I'm going to move my tool rest a little bit, because I'm starting out, yes, sir.
Somewhere along you doing the inside of that bowl, can you show us that ball end mill?
I can, yep. I'm going to, let me show this, okay, Ronnie?
Yeah, okay, all right, that's great.
Yep. So because I'm starting off on the rim, my handle is way out here. All right, so I don't, let me switch to this camera here. So I'm starting out here like this, and the cut will go like this, and I'll ride it like that to the center, okay? So I'm not taking a lot, well, I could take a lot, but I'm gonna take, so let me show it from this angle first. And then let me show it from this angle. Yeah, I didn't do that very well. I gotta do a pull cut, clean it up. So, and for Ronnie, the ball end mill tool, I'm gonna back the tool rest away a little bit. And I can, these are self-drilling, so I can drill in a little bit and pull it across the tool like that. And either ride it up along the side or pull it up along the side like this. Any questions about this so far?
Joaquin's asking what the angle in front of you, your gouge is. His is at 45.
I think mine is, I haven't ever measured it, but it's around 55. It's a little steeper than a lot of people's. Like I've seen the Thompson one. I was looking at the Thompson one this weekend. One of the guys had one at the club, and his was like that. Oops, I don't know if you can see it, but it wasn't like mine is more this way, and his was like that. So I like it like this because I tend to use the flutes in a like I would use a skew a lot. So that's why I ground mine this way, and it's slightly curved along this, like this surface here is slightly curved, slightly convex. Okay.
Yes. And keep in mind, if you do that concave, you're building a trap.
Yep. Oh yeah, totally. You don't want that. So, and that allows you to really roll the tool around things. And I don't know if you guys remember the demo I did where I showed the making the OGs on the bottom, the shearing versus scraping demo, where I showed where I could shift from a scrape to a shear and change and take more wood and change the OG on the fly. I don't know if you guys remember that demo.
I do.
Yep. There you go.
I got a mind like a rusted steel trap. What the hell?
Matt,
once it closes, it never opens. What's that?
when you pulled the ball cutter out on the side, did you change your presentation of the tool at all, or did you keep it still, I'm going to just say straight up and down?
If I changed the tool at all, I dropped the handle. Okay.
Okay.
So this is me dropping the handle. All right. So here's one where I'm just pulling it and keeping it, starting at the center, and I'm pulling it straight out to the edge, and I'm not changing the angle at all.
Okay.
Okay. And that works. Okay. Now what I also can do is I can start here, drop the handle, and change it to so the angle is sort of the same as it's in the corner. But that doesn't work quite as well. So actually keeping it straight and pulling it straight to the edge works better.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Brent says he bought one of those ball and mills and he forgot about it.
How could you forget about it? It's like my favorite tool.
Yeah. But
So
hey, I'm not going to say anything about what Brent turns. He can forget about all of it.
And Ronnie, if you get a 4-inch ball end mill, you can just shove it straight in. You won't even have to pull it.
There you go.
There you go.
You said a 4-inch? I wish you told me that earlier. I didn't get one quite that small.
Popeye better eat his spinach before he does that.
Now I'm just going to part it off. Now I am undercutting this piece a bit, okay, so that it sits flat. And I think I've left enough so I don't funnel it.
You cut that big of a ball end mill, you'll be in Brent's club in a minute.
Exactly.
Walter wants to know, is the ball end mill a metal turning tool? Certainly is, Walter. It's a milling tool. And MSC, Granger, McMaster Carr, and your local metal metal turning shop will have them in stock.
So there's my little 4-inch bowl.
Yeah.
Okay. And I would have sanded this out a little bit. And the nub on the bottom, I'll just Dremel it off.
I forgot to mention Amazon's got them also.
What does Amazon have? The ball end mill?
The ball end mill.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the link we posted in the chat on there. So
yeah, that's where Ronnie got his.
Yep, there you go. So there's my little bowl. It's a little thick in the bottom. I could have gone a little deeper, but I mean, it's something. It's very quick, and you can do things like, I mean, sometimes I add a wood burn line around the rim, or I add a feature on the bottom. There's all kinds of things you can do with these. So it's, and it's perfect for change or for knickknacks at the desk or paper clips or whatever. So, and you don't have to get too fancy with the finish. I mean, you can put 4 or 5 coats of sanding sealer on it and call it done, and you're good to go.
And if you're practicing how to put it's an outward bead on the piece. If you're learning how to turn bowls and you want to put an outward bead on the rim, pardon me, this is the way you can practice. You don't have to do a big piece. You can practice that style if you want to.
You use free wood or the leftovers from something else, and something that you might otherwise throw out, and there's all kinds of things you can play with, and it's just a simple bowl, and you can get creative with it. You can try different shapes. Does it meet the golden mean standard? Is it pleasing to the eye? Do I want to try a little lip in the rim or something like that? I don't know if you guys noticed this, but I did put a little sort of an outward sort of very faint on there when I did this. So I don't know if that's apparent from here.
That's what I was calling an outward bead.
Yeah, you can see the raised rim.
I've got it's just ever so slightly flared out here at the tip. So it's not a straight to the rim. It flares out just a little bit right as it gets to the end here. I don't know if that's visible or not. I mean, nope, tipping it the wrong way.
Well, your eye will perceive that. It changes the light as the angle changes. So your eye will perceive it. Camera might
and
not
so
get
there's
it,
a
but your eye will.
so there's there's infinite things you can do with it, and it's it's wood that you might otherwise just throw in the fire or something, and I mean, you could sell it for $15 at a craft show too. So 3 or 4 coats of sanding sealer and you're good to go.
Look at the practice you get out of it. It's a skill builder. Really,
it's practice. If you made 20 of those, you might make your booth fee at a craft fair, with just those, and somebody who doesn't have a lot of money but wants to take something home from the show, has now got a little something that's very unique and handmade and didn't cost them a whole lot. You know what I mean? So,
and it's a good item to throw in as an extra item to seal a cell.
Yep. Well, and you don't ever, when I do that, Dane, I don't ever tell anybody I'm sending it. They'll, if somebody spends, a couple $100 on a piece, they're getting extra stuff in the box.
Right. Yep. I do the same.
Yep.
If you put it in a magnet in the bottom of it, quilters like it for holding straight pins.
There you go. And you can do the Harbor Freight thing and stick it to your lathe or stick it to the cabinet next to you or whatever. So lots of options.
All types of uses.
Yep. Any questions or comments further on this?
Thank you, sir, for filling in tonight.
Yep, I thank you too.
You're very welcome.
I appreciate it.
Happy to help out, and I hope it
And
was
I
useful.
double thank you, Matt, because I just got in here just a few minutes ago, so I really appreciate you picking that up.
Great job.
My pleasure, Dean. I'm glad I was able to. So thank you.
Members helping members. That's what we do here tonight. All right, we did the gallery a few minutes ago for you, and I want to show you who the piece was that was picked as the most outstanding this week. And there it is. Don Wilson did this, and that has got some fantastic lines. Really, really nice. And this was picked as a piece of the week. Thank you, Don. I really appreciate your input on this. I mean, this is outstanding work. Now I'm going to go back and run you a show that puts the names with the pieces. That wasn't before. You see in the top left-hand corner is the name of the turner that produced this work. That's our selection of the week, Don Wilson. No, Terrell Brace walked in the door a minute ago. There's Don again with another fine piece. Tim Hatch has got a few pieces in tonight. Andy. There's another one by Tim Hatch. S.P. Madden. I don't have any idea who this gentleman is, but it's beautiful work. Robert Clark out of Mississippi. Patrick Holger. Take a look at the close-up on the top of this. It won't zoom in. All right. Thread at top. Bob Moffett. Got a hole in the world there. Tim Dresch. Robert Clark again. You want to why I spread these out, I use the photographs we get. And if you send me 3 or 4 shots of the piece, different shots of it, I'll try to use them all. That's the inside of the piece you saw a second ago by Stan. Robert Clark again. See, this piece has really got some character to it. Bob sends a couple of photographs of the same piece so we can use it. Dave Leader. Dave's got a drinking problem. There's Bob Moffett with another one of his fine pieces. Robert Clark's back. Dale Prout has done some fantastic natural edge pieces lately. A lot of character in these pieces. This is David Swain's work. It's got some beautiful grain patterns to it. Good shape bowl also, flip side. And here's another one. Rich Borchers has got this in. Take a look at with the detail on this one. Very, very nice. And then wrap up with Cade's work. A little offset finial on this piece is a three-sided piece, if you missed that. And that was our gallery for this evening with the names involved. And again, Tom Wilson was our selection of the week. We'll use him in our newsletter, showing the folks what we turn and how it comes out. Again, about in the chat, you're seeing names and addresses and phone numbers. And that is the names, addresses, and phone numbers of the members who wish to be part of our contact list. The way we're going to work it, you put it in the chat. Our master webmaster will take it out of the chat and put it on a PDF document that'll be available to you by password on our website. Get all that, okay? And but if you save the chat today on your computer, you'll get all this information. If you go to the chat this week on our website, you will not get that information. We're trying to avoid the bots. That's what we're doing here. So if you want to be part of it, voluntarily put that information in our chat tonight. And I will remind you again before we sign off at 9 o'clock, save the chat. Trace is with us. He's out of Mississippi, and last week we got into a conversation with a piece that had had some colored pencil work on it. And Trace called me the other day and he says, hey, I want to talk about those colored pencils. And I'm glad he's doing this because I thought they were the ones that Doug Grill bought at the dollar store. But let's talk about these for changing and progressing on your work. How's that? Progressing on your work.
Sounds good.
Go ahead with it, Trace.
Back in, when I went back in and started researching the color pencils, I pulled it up and did some research on the internet and found out there were actually 3 different types, and I thought there were just 2, but there are 3 different types of basic color pencils. There's a wax-based color pencil, and normally if you go buy a color pencil, you're probably buying the wax-based color pencil. That's the most common one. Then there's an oil-based color pencil, which is not as common. And then there's a water-based color pencil. So the main 2 are probably going to be your wax and your water base. Let's flip over here. Another thing that they talked about is there's some different hardnesses of color pencils. There's a hard and soft color pencil, and if you get the artist quality, if an artist quality pencil, you probably get the softer color pencil, and it will have more pigment in it than the cheaper color pencils, the student grade color pencils, which are a harder color pencil. Prismatic makes a good color pencil. These are oil based color pencils, and they're relatively soft. But one thing you can do with these, in addition to that, I'm just going to mark it on there. And the oil-based color pencil will dissolve with the medium that they use for painting. This is a painting medium. And if I want to spread that out, if you see what I just did there, I just blend that out and spread it out instead of having the color marks in there. Really neat when you're trying to do wood burning and you want to color something, get a little green or red in something, you can take that pencil, mark it, and then rub this medium on it, and it will blend it back out and thin it out. And it sort of dyes and stains across your piece. Sort of neat. But I do recommend doing the artist quality pencils versus the other ones because the colors will be more brilliant in them. the other type of pencil that they have, and I actually wound up didn't realize I had it, but I had it. This is oil based. It works very similar. It still has wax in it, but it's an oil based pencil, and it will work similar fashion to using the medium to spread it out. It's a little more expensive than the wax base, so the wax base is probably good enough. It's oil base is probably not needed.
Hey, Trace.
And the third one, yes.
What is painting medium?
What is what?
What is painting medium?
Painting medium is an oil type medium, and this is that if you go to the store, like Hobby Lobby or whatever, and look in their oil based paints, there'll be a painting medium that you can use to thin the paint out with. And it's an oil type solution. And I was cleaning the bottle and I wiped out, this is medium number 1. It comes in different thicknesses, but it just says paint medium.
And it's for oil-based only?
It's for oil-based paints, yes.
Okay.
Not for acrylic.
Oil-based paints also use blow. Blow will do the same thing.
And that will probably do the exact same thing.
That's what we used.
This is the medium outfit. Go ahead.
I said we were using blow all the time when I was into oil paints.
Yep. And that'll do exactly the same thing on it.
Trace?
And by the way, these colors are color fast.
Trace?
Yes.
You can get that flow medium also at Home Depot. Comes in the paint section of the store. There's a flow medium that you can use to thin oil-based paints as well. It's called flow medium.
The Flow Troll is for acrylic and latex paint. I'm not sure if it works in oil. And they also have flow medium for alcohol-based inks and that kind of stuff too. So almost whatever you're using, there is a medium for it and a thinner that will extend the life of it and make it flow easier.
Okay. This is a watercolor. And on that, I'm going to use water on it. Drop up some of that. I use water on, spread it out with it. And you can wet it. You can, using water, doing different things with it. It's basically watercolor. If you're doing a watercolor drawing, you can do the background with that, and then come back with the pencils and use it to spread out. Now, these colors are fairly fade resistant. The other thing I actually use watercolor pencils for, if I have a dark mark on that piece of wood, I can mark on it with a light color pencil, use water, and get rid of the marking. Now the purpose I'm marking on here is I want to mark on to carve something or put a pattern into it, to carve a pattern on it. Then I can wipe the extra stuff off outside the line that I didn't remove. Or if I painted this black with, let's say, a black milk paint, I can mark it with a light color water pencil, and then wipe it off. Everything outside the line later on when I don't follow the lines exactly, because the lines were just guidelines. So, but then again, all these pencils are color fast. Back, quite a few years ago, watercolor pencils were thought, very poorly. It is actually a true medium, artist medium on pencils, because they were downgraded before, but now the quality on the pencils and everything are excellent. I do recommend the artist quality pencils because the pigment is better. You get more brilliant colors. And if you want to blend it in, put it around, put a band around something and blend the band in, so it looks like it's not you're not getting the heavy lines into it and stuff.
Hey, Trey,
Yes.
if they spotlight me, I'm showing a picture of what I did with colored pencils and burning on a, I don't know if you guys can see it or not.
Yep.
All right, that was on a demi-lune table that I did.
Pull it back to you a little bit, Sue. All right.
Well, it's not on there. Hang on, let's try it again. Well, that'll show you. And there's inlaid wire in there. There's the table again there, but there it is.
Is the white an inlay or cut pencil?
The inlay was holly,
Okay.
and everything else was colored pencil and pyrography.
That's really pretty.
Oh, yeah.
That's very nice.
That was for a good friend of mine, their 50th wedding anniversary.
Nice.
How do I become a good friend?
Actually, it's my stepdaughter. Be a good friend. Okay. That's good.
Yeah, this is Walt. I was trying to show a piece that I did with watercolor pencils.
Oh, okay, let me spotlight you here.
Still don't have the end. Hey, maybe this is it. There it is.
There you go.
We can't do it once, we'll do it over again. Okay.
Wow, that sushi looks realistic.
Sorry about that, but that's with colored pencils, watercolor pencils.
You call it sushi too?
No, I didn't color the sushi, just the dish.
You had me
How
for a minute.
did you finish that, Walt? That's beautiful.
It's watercolor pencil over the wood, and then it's finished with an epoxy over the top.
That is gorgeous.
Wow, and how did you keep the epoxy from causing the?
That's a whole nother demonstration.
That's very nice, Walt.
Coming in 2022.
Yeah, sign them up, Dane.
Oh yeah, I got Walt down.
All right.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
Thanks,
Thank
Walt.
you, Walt. Yeah, we don't let them get away, folks. If we can get a demonstration of things to help you learn how to improve or do your own wood turning, it happens right here.
We
had sushi tonight, but not on that kind of way.
Now, Eddie, the whole purpose of what I was doing is introducing color pencils as a medium to color your work. And it's a good medium. It's a good medium to color work. As you see from some of the work that was done and everything else. And it's very color fast. And as I say, I do recommend the artist quality and not the student grade. And I think the ones that are being glued together are probably below student grade. The ones that he's buying that for 50 cents a pack and gluing up. But anyhow, that's all I really had on. Anybody else have anything on color pencils or anything to discuss?
No, it's very enlightening to me. I never thought about using colored pencils in my work.
I don't know if I'm highlighted or not, but this is a piece that I did. Stay on.
I get you here, Matt. You're up.
It's wood burning or pyrography. So the details are wood burned, and there was stippling done in here. Okay, and then it was used colored pencils, an ochre colored pencil to color that, and then the star behind the raven is silver colored pencils.
Nice.
I like that. I like
Very
that.
nice,
That's nice, man.
Very nice work, and it reemphasizes what you can do with the color pencils.
Yeah, I've got another piece, but I'm having some issues with resources on the computer. So when I get there, I'll ask to show that also.
Okay.
Would like to see it. So,
That'll work. Thank you.
Gotta say thanks to Trace for sharing that information. Folks, if you've got something like that you want to share with us, jump on board. If you want to do a demo about it, jump on board. Jane Channel is our demo master. He'll sign you up. And we've sometimes got 3-4 weeks ahead of time, and we can do multiples like we did tonight. So all you do is jump on board and be part of your club. And we're gonna go back to, it's right at the top of the hour. We've got 63 minutes before we pull the plug on it this evening, or before I pull the plug on it, because some nights it runs on and on and on and on and on.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's go see what Scott's got.
Hey, Scott.
Hey, last week I showed you a piece that I did, this piece here, this little ornament. And I told you I did it with my new badan that I had made. So here's the badan that I made.
Pull it right back to you. Let's do an end view on it. That's nice.
Is that quarter inch?
Very nice. It's 3/16, and it started out as a skew.
Oh, man, you cheated.
Oh, man.
So I found some cheap turning tools at a garage sale, and I thought, let's try to make my own badan. And I wanted something thin to do small pieces, so that's what I ended up with.
And there's nothing, yeah, I gotta commend you on this. Recycled old tools makes best detailed tools you're gonna find.
And it works great. Now I just gotta get a little better at using it.
Well, keep practicing to show us, Scott. We want to see.
I will.
Thank
So
you,
that's
sir.
what I wanted to show you. You guys wanted to see it last week, so I thought I'd show it to you.
Great. Thanks for sharing, Scott. As you can see, folks, it doesn't go in the trash can or the steel pot. We don't burn anything here. We try to use it all and get the
Right.
most out of it. So who's up next, Dane?
Well, let's go. Let's see what Greg Bray's got for us. Hey, Greg. You're muted, buddy.
Okay, how's that?
Now I
Better.
can hear you.
Got something on my screen. Okay,
You.
this is a little vase made this week. And it left some of the sapwood on it, and it had a limb coming out, and it had actually broke off of this tree. It's
All
What
right,
kind
you
is
keep
it?
saying tree. What wood? What is the wood?
a white oak.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
one I took down about 3 years ago out of my backyard. It's just been laying out back, so I decided I'd cut into it and hollow it out.
That sapwood
That's
really gives
pretty.
it character.
Yes,
Yeah.
it did.
Love it.
That's all I got.
Thank you. Thank
Right
you.
on. Thank you.
All right. And I
Very
got to
nice.
say goodnight to who said that? Andy Schuster's got to go to bed. So good night, Andy. We'll see you next week. And great pens that went to Freedom Pens this week from Andy and the crew. Got a lot of them in. Ronnie Monette is handling our marine. How you say that? A marine.
Marine Corps graduation.
Yeah, Marine Corps graduation. Ronnie's going to that. His grandson will be a Marine in just about a month.
Thanks to everyone. I got a whole bunch this week. And just to let you know, the graduation is less than a month away. So if you have any pins you want to get to these Marines, kind of send them on. I've ordered a whole bunch more bags, so we're gonna bag them up, and everybody will get a Freedom pin with your card in it. So thanks to everyone.
Well, welcome, Ronnie, and folks. Just so you know where we're at on this, Freedom Pens is a start to thank the troops protecting our freedom in our country, and you can do this by just turning a pen and giving it to us. Send us the pen. No hoopla, nothing else. Just send us the pen, but put a card or a note in there that Ronnie can, when he passes it on. But Ronnie is doing a Marine boot camp with his grandson. But we have the Army covered by Doug Rowe. We have the Air Force being covered. We have the Navy being covered. And we're looking for a Coast Guard guy. We will cover them all. And if you want to be part of Freedom Pens, send us your pen. That's how critical it is and how simple it is. All right, Dane is doing our gallery tonight. Dane, who you got, bud?
Well, let's span back to Matt. He found his photo he's got.
Matt, you're up.
All right, I'm sharing this piece here. This is a large platter. Can you guys see it?
Yes.
Okay, so this piece was pyrography. I mean, when I was turning the platter, I used the little acrylic things to do the black circular lines. The feathers and the highlights in the eagle and around the edges are pyrography, wood burning, and the colors are all colored pencil, Prismacolor artist pencils, including the white. The white took a lot of pencil layers. I had to do it multiple times to get it to where I wanted it. It's pretty cool because the white goes on very, very subtly, but you can layer more and more colors on with it. You can get more and more brighter color, but it really allows you to control the intensity. I mean, if you really want white, it's a pain, but it is what it is.
Yeah, it's very nice.
That's what it is beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a lot of fun to do.
It looks beautiful.
Thank you.
Fabulous work and a great highlight of color pencils and what you can do with them.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys have ever seen, what's her name? There's a lady whose pyrography work I really admire. She turns small pieces. She's from California somewhere.
Cynthia Carden Gibson.
No, well, she's wonderful too, but
Sharon Fritas.
Janice Levy. She does a lot of very delicate work, and I really like the way she uses white to highlight things because it really makes her pieces jump off of the wood turnings.
Oh. Yeah, Janice is awesome. She's here in Texas, though.
Texas, that's right. That's right. She's in Waco, right? I'm sorry, my mistake.
Sally Barnett.
Yeah, but I had the pleasure of meeting and turning with Janice at Campbell's Hands-On Retreat every summer for the last 2 or 3 summers. So, and her work is inspirational, especially the way she uses subtle colors and pencils and on her wood burnings and on her wood turnings. And she wood turns stuff and then she decorates it, and it's extraordinary. So, I mean, there's a lot of very good turners and decorators too, but Janice's work I've really taken some inspiration from. So
Janice is very involved in the SWAT program. She recruited my club probably a dozen years ago, sat at a table with us and said, "Hey, why aren't you a member?" You did the sale on us, and what can you tell that lady? You can't tell her no.
Oh no,
no,
she's
a force of nature.
Yeah, so thank you, Matt. Appreciate that. And if you don't understand what SWAT is an association called Southwestern Association Turners, SWAT, no guns, nothing like that. SWAT, and it's SWAT Earners, SWATURNERS.org to find out more about them. They do a fantastic symposium in August, I think the last weekend of August. It is fantastic. It knocked down a little bit because of COVID, but everything else was also. Where we heading, Dane?
Well, we're gonna head up to a little place up the road from me and down the road from Doug. So Gary Hoffman, how you doing tonight, sir?
Hey, Gary.
Okay, I've got 2 bowls that were basket bowls.
Oh,
One of them, that's about 6 inches in diameter.
Oh my.
The other one's just a little one.
Oh.
About 2 inches, if that much. There are basket weaves. It includes wood burning, and each one of them took between 4 and 5 hours to make and color. My wife did the coloring, and of course I did the turning on them. And I used Tombow, and that's from Michael's, and they're watercolored, water-based, and they take real well. There's a fine point on one side. It's a dual point. It's a fine point on one side, The other is more like a brush.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's very nice. I don't have the patience for that.
Looks like he has
real
two
nice.
entries into the bowl
It takes a
challenge.
lot of patience. It really does.
Yeah, because one's 6 inches and small and the other one is 6 inches and larger, correct, Gary?
Yeah, the larger one, that's 6 inches across, and this one's about, I'd say about 2.5 inches maybe at the most.
And being a bowl
Three
next to 2022 bowl challenge.
They're both ambrosia maple is what they were. They were light enough to where I can do the coloring, the burning on them, so it came through.
Thank you,
Yeah,
sir.
nice
Beautiful.
job, Gary.
Really.
They're
nice.
beautiful.
You're welcome.
Fantastic.
Those are amazing.
As Matt said earlier this evening, it's not the size, it's the quality that counts when we do this. And it's that bowl challenge we're talking about happens next year. 2 categories, 6 inches and smaller, 6 inches and larger. And you can go as a novice or a seasoned turner, and we'll show you all these bowls. And if you got to show them early, that's fine. But if you would send us a photograph to our wood turning worldwide woodturners at gmail.com. That's the one, worldwide woodturners at gmail.com. Then we can use your piece for our gallery, our weekly instant gallery, and for our website. Who's up, Dane?
Well, we're on you right now, Eddie.
Me? Okay.
Didn't you say you had something to show tonight?
No, sir. I have, well, I got these 2 FEMA agents out there looking at the shop. We're
Well,
still
show us them, because we never seen one work.
Be careful, I need these folks. Why do I ever need them? I'm ready to move my shop into the house. My wife is moving out of our garden room. That's where I'm moving into. And we're ready to move in. I can't find a contractor to put the deck on the back and cut out the door. And I'm calling people that put in my handicap ramp a couple of years ago that they came out and knocked it out one day. I'm calling guys that used to work for me when I was a superintendent. They're all doing heavy duty rental work. So I want to find somebody, but that's not going to keep me out of here. I did a little takeoff today. I can roll that lathe up my handicap ramp and into the house. And if I get a couple of monkeys to help me muscle that in, it's coming in. So, but that's all I got to show. We're making
If I
progress.
remember that lathe weighs what, 650 pounds, or is it 850?
650. And I
Well,
can take, I'm going to take the extension, tailstock, tool rest off, and carry that up separately. Well, not carried up, I'm going to roll it up. And I'm getting some furniture rollers to help get this thing moving. But it's when I've done this before, and I've seen big pieces move like this before. And as an old guy in Mesquite, Texas told me, I can move anything. Give me time. And he did. I watched him roll a ball mill, like a 400-ton ball mill across the state highway on logs. And the state cop said, you can't do that. And 6 hours later, the cop came over and said, I apologize for doubting your abilities. But he did it. And the winch was a pickup truck with a rope around a rim. When you got to do it, when you got to do it, you can do it. So in our chat tonight, we're collecting the names, name, address, phone number, email address, and website if you choose to be added to our contact sheet, which will be password protected on our website. And if you want to have this information, it'll be a PDF format, not live. And then you can download this, keep it. And when you look for somebody like Matt was looking to find Dane today, he called me. I don't have a problem chatting with you guys, but if I wasn't here or didn't have my notebook with me, I couldn't help out. So you can be part of this, put it in there. We have our bowler challenge next year. I told you about that. Gallery's growing 24 entries in the last week. How we work on that, I cut the entries off on Tuesday night when I shut the system down and start over again on Wednesday morning. And already I have entries for next week. Got them in today. And you'll see all this work. That's why we do this. It's not bragging rights. It's not who's going to win and who's going to lose. It's an opportunity for you to see the work of other turners, to understand what they're doing, rattle your brain a little bit and see if you can not copy, but duplicate that type of work, or it gives you, pardon the language, a brain fart, and you can't avoid doing it. Something I see things every week like that, and I say, let me tell you how I can change this. Let me tell you how I can put my little spin on it, my little twist on it, how I can make it unique. And we can all do that. Remember, you can't copy work. God did this thing where there's no two pieces alike of wood. So you can't copy the work. Speaking of copy, we have a terrible copycat amongst us this evening. He just came in. That's Doug Rowe, our first sergeant. He's our collector of Freedom Pens for the U.S. Army. Doug, good evening, sir.
Good evening. How y'all doing? Sorry I'm late to the show again.
That's okay. You in here and threw your hat on and ring. Ronnie is up to almost 200 pens. Right, Ronnie? Ronnie's collecting the pens for the Marines.
I'm up to 220, Doug.
And how many is it that you need?
I need about 400. There's 6 platoons with about 70 in each platoon.
Okay, so I've still got a pretty decent stockpile here that people have sent me. So I'm going to get the majority of those boxed up and pushed off to you. And that'll increase your numbers a little bit. It's not going to get you quite to the 400 you need, so keep sending them pens. But right. I'm going to push you a big box that I got.
Okay, we have less than a month to go now.
Okay.
All right, folks, and Ronnie's information is on the chat. If you want to get a hold of Ronnie, or you can call me, and I'll tell you how to get a hold of her. You can call me. My phone number's everywhere. So you can call me and I'll share this information with you. Collecting pens for Freedom Pens. Doug, how's the new shop working out?
Well, if I could ever get out there and make something, it'd be great. The last thing I made was the pumpkins that didn't work. Anybody that watched that on my Facebook video, that was a disaster. Thanks, Brenda. I still blame you.
Giving credit where credit's due.
No, honestly, guys, I have just been so busy. You guys have seen everything in the news and the mandating of the virus or the vaccine and all of that stuff. So it's just a big deal going through the military right now that I'm dealing with, at least on our small little portion of the military. But we're getting through it. And hopefully here in the next week or so, things are going to start calming back down for me. And then I'll get back out in the shop and make some shavings and do some stuff.
All right. So Brenda is the root cause of that pumpkin thing that I turned off.
What? Say that again?
Brenda is the root cause of that pumpkin thing that I turned off.
What pumpkin thing did you turn off?
I turned off when you were turning that pumpkin.
Yeah.
I couldn't watch that anymore.
And for anybody that doesn't know what we're talking about, Brenda had found a video of somebody turning a real pumpkin on a lathe, sent it to me and said I should do it. So of course, yes. And well, I failed miserably. And the only thing I made, it's one thing to make a wooden project and have it fail, and you just have wood shavings to clean up. I failed completely and just had wet pumpkin everywhere that I had to clean up. So it was all fun in the end. I did buy 2 more pumpkins, and I am going to try it again until I get it right. I just don't have time right now.
All right.
They're fun to carve with the 22.
Oh, there you go. That's a good idea too. And now we actually have one more meeting before Halloween, right? So next Wednesday?
Yeah.
Okay, so we got to keep with the tradition. Everybody wear costumes next Wednesday.
Oh, man, I didn't
Oh,
like
no.
last year.
Yeah.
And remember, if you see it, you can't unsee it.
Last year, the only one that was in costume was Doug.
That's not true. I was the only one that dressed up as Kim Tippin. The rest of y'all dressed up as wood turners.
Jill dressed
as a wood turner.
I
just happened to dress up as a very specific wood turner.
I'll call Kim. I got her number. I'll call Kim and make sure she's with us next week.
Has anybody
right.
talked to Kim? How's she doing?
Last time I talked to her, she's doing better.
Yeah.
She put a new video out on YouTube that she was doing a whole lot better.
Yeah.
You know, since we got one more meeting before Halloween, Doug could do his demo again on turning the pumpkin for us.
Oh, Dane, sign them up, Dane.
I'll tell you what, if I can get out of work at a decent time on Wednesday, this next Wednesday, I'll do that. I can't promise you it'll work, but I promise you we'll make a mess.
Just tell him you got a pumpkin to turn.
You wouldn't need much time for it.
No, it spins real fast and real easy. You know, it actually turns easier than green wood.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
The only thing that turns easier than that would be watermelon, Doug.
Yeah.
Well, don't give
And
him
hey,
any
Dave, while we
ideas.
got you there, I am actually going to be down in your neck of the woods on Friday. Are you anywhere close to Marana?
I'm 30 miles south of Marana.
30 miles. Okay. I got to go give a class on Friday afternoon down at Marana.
Where at?
Right there at the National Guard facility down there in Marana where all the helicopters are.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I got to go teach a class on quality communication.
Oh,
I
boy.
wonder how long I'll speak before I use profanity and then say that's not what you're supposed to do.
What time's it over with?
You know what? I don't think I even start speaking until 2:45. It's an all-day conference. I'm just one of the speakers, and I'm going down there to talk about quality communication in regards to mental health issues and how you kind of dive into your soldiers' personal lives without feeling like you're diving into their personal life.
Personal life, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see you next week with a pumpkin pie.
Yeah. Or at least a pumpkin mess.
All right. Thank you, Doug.
You bet.
Doug Rowe is our Army contact for Freedom Pens. His information is on our website. If you're looking for the guys, we have the other folks involved too, also, who collect Freedom Pens for the Navy and for Marine Corps, it's Air Force, and et cetera, et cetera. And remember, I'm an Air Force troop. If you send a pen, it's got to have blue ink. You know, we have rules. We don't follow them, but we have rules. Let's go back to gallery tonight. Who's up, Dane?
Well,
Well,
let's
soon
go
we'll be
back,
sending,
go back to Trey here.
Trays up, or some ornaments are up, and an elbow.
Okay. Well, that's what I was going to show. I've got a couple inside ornaments I had turned last year, but I just added a little accent to them. Put a little Christmas tree in the middle of them.
That's pretty.
Nice.
That's neat.
So, and it really made them jump out, the color difference and everything else.
What's the wood product?
This is mahogany. Used to make mahogany doors with. It was cut off. It was scrap wood from a door factory, and the finial is American cherry that came out of a floor.
Very nice.
But I just finished them up, and I thought that the color really made them pop.
They do.
And,
That really does.
It really makes them pop out and jump out at you.
What did you cut the trees with, Trey?
What did I
Ask
do? What?
him
Cut
to.
the trees with?
Yeah, what did you use to dye the trees?
I used an alcohol-based dye.
Okay.
Just a second, I'll show it to you.
Okay, Traces in Ocean Springs, Mississippi. There we go, artesian product.
Okay,
Yeah.
thanks,
This
Trey.
is what I use, alcohol-based dye, and I thin it out. It's an alcohol base, and I thin it out before I apply it. And this is the
Okay.
dye that I use for everything. And I got one other piece I just did. I just finished dyeing, and I put one coat of lacquer on it, but this is a piece that I just finished dyeing
That is
beautiful.
pretty. Look
that
at the
has
flash
red
on
and
it.
blue dyes.
Nice.
Red and blue dyes. I've got one coat of lacquer on it to seal it, and that's it.
Nice.
Gorgeous.
But it's got some nice color on it that went in different places. So
Beautiful.
You know, sparkle from across the room. Man, that is beautiful.
same dye, same same brand dye. I think this is blue. This has blue and red mixed on it, so I get a little purples in it and stuff. But
Where do you get that dye?
Craft Supply sells it.
Craft Supply?
Craft Supply USA. Yeah, Craft Supply has
okay.
it.
Okay. Just cut out there for a sec.
And
so-
they make about 12 different colors or so.
Cool.
Make it,
Okay.
Trace.
Thanks.
Right.
So
And the artesian dyes are really handy to work with. I'm still sorting through what didn't get smashed, but I came in the other day with a whole bunch of gray hands because I didn't realize some got smashed, and when it smashes out, it becomes gray when you get a whole pile of colors. But if you want to do those multiple colors, you can do it by applying in coats and buffing them out, or can't describe it. You sort of melt it in using.
I sand between coats to pull some of it off and let some of the other colors come through and highlight them.
That's what I was trying to get to. I couldn't get there. You should see my hands are wanting to do it, and I can't explain it. So, thank you, sir. Very much appreciate it. We're back to doing gallery. Got about 36 minutes before the top of the hour. Who's up next, Dane?
Well, our old friend in Ontario. Hey, Cade.
Ontario, Canada.
Oh, hi everyone. Hope all's well.
He's not the smallest turner in Ontario, but he knows him closely.
Yeah. He'll be on a milk crate soon enough.
All right.
So I've been playing around with some ornaments. A couple of weeks ago, they were talking about sea urchins in Martin Clarkson's meeting. So I missed last week because I had to teach a class, but the week before, I'm not too sure if I showed this, but it's a sea urchin ornament. And the knob and the finial are made out of walnut. And after making it, it almost looks like a lady went to the barber and got a perm.
Yep, got an afro.
Got a little afro. So maybe I did show that, but I've been playing around with other ornaments. I haven't got to my other sea urchins, but I've been playing with cubes and stuff. So here's another ornament here.
Manta ray.
Now that's a demo.
The
No
finial
kidding.
on top. Yeah, that could be a possible demo.
Oh, there's no
Yeah.
possible about it.
Sure.
Who can sign him up? Dane? I think Dane can
Oh,
sign him
I
up.
know a guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know a guy. So the finial on top is cherry. The cube was ash, and the actual size of this cube was 1 7/8 by 1 7/8 by 1 7/8. And that's what I got this ornament out of. The finial on the bottom is also made of cherry. But after I made this, I was sort of happy with the size of the finial on top. I didn't think the finial on the bottom was quite long enough. So I had some acacia left over from a friend who gave me his offcuts from his kitchen countertop. And he was also asking me if I've made any ornaments with the acacia yet, because he would like something to accent the cutting board and the rolling pin series I did for him. Now he wants a ornament for his Christmas tree that matches his kitchen countertops. So I did a cube in acacia. So here's the acacia cube. Nice golden brown colors and chatoyance of gold. It will be much nicer when it's all shiny like glass, when I can see myself in it. This one, I was much happier with the proportions of the finials. I like the extra length of the finial on top. And especially the extra length of the finial on the base. Oh, here, where's the, there
You're
we
on
are.
target.
Yep, that is gorgeous.
Now, folks, I think if Dane twists that a little bit, that top piece is all one piece.
No, that's not one solid piece. The finial on top and the finial on bottom are actually joined with a mortise and tenon joint. So the finial here on the bottom has a 1/4 inch mortise drilled into it, and the finial on top has a 1/4 inch tenon, and the ornament itself has a 1/4 inch hole that the tenon goes through and fits into the mortise that's in the finial. But that will all be in our demo.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, no. But the cube is not segmented. That is one piece of wood.
Yes, it's one solid piece of wood. I actually have one in half form on my lathe right now, so I could actually switch my camera around, and then I'll show you a box I did. Let me see here, switch this guy around. Oh, find my fat fingers, find the button. So here it is here. So I've already hollowed the inside portion. I'm about to hollow the bottom portion, but this is probably going to be a double-sided bowl or a cup. So if it's not the bowl side being used, it will actually sit on 3 feet, which are the actual corners of the cube, which you will see in this box.
All right. Dane, you spell his name Kade, just so we have it clear. Get him on that
Right
roster.
on.
Get him on that roster. We have to see that. I love turning cubes. But that is whoa.
So here's the cube box. The cube is 1/8 of an inch, 1/8 of an inch, 1/8 of an inch wall thickness on the bottom of the box. The top of the box here
Oh, my goodness.
is all 1/8 of an inch. The lid is just over an 1/8 of an inch with a African black wood finial on the inside, which holds your ring in the very center of the box, and an African black wood finial on top.
Look at
And
those
they're also
smooth
conjoined with a mortise and tenon joint.
Kate, that's
smooth line.
beautiful.
And it's all done with my favorite tool, the skew.
Beautiful, Cade.
Oh,
Just
nice.
beautiful.
Well, this portion is done with the skew. This is not, okay?
Okay,
I don't
yeah, all
have
right.
to do anything of this
Oh,
sort
okay.
with the skew.
Why'd you leave it so thick?
Well, because I left it thick because of the way of the grain running this direction with the cube, as well as on the bottom, the grain is running this direction. So if this were to fall on ceramic or linoleum or tile, you can see the grain
Yeah.
That corner might chip right off if I drop this and it fell on that corner if I went any thinner.
I'm just kidding because you make stuff so thin all the time. It was, 1/8 of an inch is thick for you.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, but I had to keep structure just in case it fell off my lathe while I was doing the lid or something. So
That is
and
one.
the lid and the body are all one piece, so you can see the grain match there.
Oh, wow.
It was all from the same.
Man, that is fantastic.
Great job, Cade.
Yeah.
Thanks.
That is.
Make sure you send Eddie a picture of that.
We gotta
I
see that.
will. Yeah, I will. I'm gonna get it all shined up
You're
and
gonna
I'll
shine
post
it.
it on,
Yeah.
on our group and I'll send you a picture.
Yep, we'll put that in the newsletter, which grows terrifically right now. A
What-
lot
what
of
tool-
artwork.
What tool did you use to get the joint between the top and bottom section?
Oh, in the very center here?
Yeah.
Yeah, in the very
between
center.
here?
Yeah.
I used a detail gouge, spindle detail gouge, but it doesn't have your average spindle detail grind on it. Your spindle detail gouge is usually a fingernail grind, sometimes regular fingernail or a little longer. But this one, so normally my spindle gouge would have a grind on it like this.
Yep.
And it's a fingernail grind.
Okay.
The one I use to get into those tight corners where the two corners come in and join, giving me the 3 wings alternating on either side. I use this one and it's sharpened to a
point.
To a point almost. Yeah.
It's an impressive tool. It is beautiful.
Okay.
So same sort of flute, same sort of depth in the flutes. This one is a 1/16 inch thicker, but they're just ground differently. So this is ground using my one-way Wolverine sharpening attachment for my bowl gouges. So I get my Irish grind and Ellsworth grind on my bowl gouges. And this one is just sharpened freehand. In the bottom of this up against the wheel. And I just rotate it 180 degrees.
That doesn't have an elliptical grind, so that's a full radius grind.
Yes. Yeah.
And you can drive that point just by how much you grind off of each side. Instead of blending them together, you work to that point.
Yeah, so you can make it as pointy or as blunt as you like by just rolling this on my wheel. Just like that.
Nicely done. Very nicely done. Well, thank you, sir. And we get you lined up for a demonstration on the cube. Boy, I tell you, that one I will be sure I tape. But our webmaster gets a tape of it and he excerpts these demonstrations, puts them on our website. So you can look at the entire program, or you can look at the selections of the demonstrations that David has chopped out of the program. So if you see the demonstration we did tonight with Matt Harper, and also the one we had tonight with the colored pencils by Trace, and some of the other items we had tonight, those will be broke out of the program. So when you go to our website, you'll be able to find that. Our chat will also be there, but amended to take all the names and addresses out of them. Those names and addresses we're collecting on a voluntary thing. And if you want to give us the work to go, give us the information to go on our PDF file on our website, which is going to be password protected. All you have to do is put the information in the chat right now. Just put it in there. Give us a name, address, phone number, email address, and website. And if you don't want to give us all of that, it's okay. If you don't want to give us anything, it's okay. And it's not mandatory. We don't want to distribute it. We will not sell or give away this information to anybody because we don't want any more spam than you want. So that's what we're doing right now, collecting information. We're going to have a bowl challenge in 2022. And I think just now we saw 2 great entries, colored, basket colored bowl entries. Now, what Matt showed earlier today, this evening, was a very simple bowl turned out of something that needed to be turned that was in the shop. It wasn't huge, but if you do art markets or whatever and peddle your work, they're an ideal, they pay you rent. They will. And you can get as artistic as you want. You can penetrate them and decorate them, get them thin like Cade turns. I mean, thin. Cade turns work you can read the newspaper through. But turn them thin like that and then take your NSK or detail tool and carve out a miscellaneous pattern in it, or just a flower shape, or the outline of a rabbit, or whatever it is. Put those in the bowl, and they're instant sellers, really are. And especially if you put football names on, football team name on the outside or on the bottom of them. Watch that logo thing here, but don't get close. Today, our item of the week, the demonstration piece was done by Tom Wilson. It was a gorgeous ornament, and we ask you to submit your stuff to us by email, by our regular email address, worldwidewoodturners@gmail.com, and we'll use your art in our weekly galleries. It'll also go in our newsletter, and also go on our website. It'll also go on our promos that I'll start tomorrow, which is, I got a brand new promo to run out again. And this just lets folks know what you can turn. And none of this is canned stuff. We don't take any canned stuff from other people's websites or stuff like that. Nope. I want your work and you submit it. All right. Anybody else up, Dane?
Well, let's see. Johnny Hughes said he had something to show off. Let's go to Johnny. We haven't seen him in a while.
Might be an old piece because Johnny is old. Okay, he went to bed. We missed him.
Yeah, Johnny just went to bed.
Yeah, he said goodnight.
Yep, said goodnight.
Bummer.
Yep, he sure did.
All right.
Nap time.
Well, that's it for the moment then.
All right. You got somebody you'd like to show folks tonight? It's right here. All you
Hey,
have to do is, what's
What,
that?
what about that rust remover? I was interested in that.
Yeah, I got to
Oh,
know you to
Billy.
go back to Billy. Billy, you back? Unmute Billy. Billy Dillard was doing that. I can't get to my,
I don't see Billy on either.
no. Billy
How
Dillard
about
was with us early, and he was talking about a spray-on rust remover. I have a great need for that right now. And I discovered something. All those MDF products that made from a table saw, a bandsaw, and a grinder. Oh, they do great. They do great in weather.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. In fact, some 3/4 stuff is up to maybe 1 5/8 inches.
Well, Dean's popped in. He's got something to show. Hey, Dean.
All right, Dean.
Yeah, I'll show something. I don't know. Is Bob Moffitt still on? I may want to back out of that.
You're
Got a little birdhouse I made from a limb. Left
Cool.
the little fungus and growing, I forget what you call that. Can't think of it. Grows on the limbs. Left that on here. Yeah,
Lichens.
lichens. Thank you. I could not come up with it. Just left that on there, coated it with lacquer.
Very pretty.
Yeah,
Oh.
really nice.
Looks very nice.
That's nice, Dean.
Thank you.
Bob Moffett, once you in on this, come on, Bob.
Now, Bob doesn't have to even comment on this one because I know, compared to what that man does, this is not much here.
Dean has a demo on this.
Yeah, I did it I did a video on it. And one of the things I did is, I know none of you other wood turners ever done this before, but I made one more cut.
Ooh.
Yeah, kind of created a disaster, but I decided, what the heck, folks need to know if they make a mistake that it's not over and that they can go ahead and fix it. So I basically treated it like a box, made a tenon, put the top back on, and finished the top attached to the bottom, and showed everybody how I was able to save that project.
Good.
Never missed a lick.
Very nice.
Yeah,
Did
we
well,
all
Dean.
know
You never missed it.
Well, I did edit out that one word, but
I think that turned out looking pretty neat.
Yeah.
Listen, there he is. He voted.
thanks.
Just
Bob.
one, just
So, hey,
one, Dean.
Dean, we got a question asking where you get your hangers.
Now you can order these off of Amazon for $8 for 40 of them, or you can go to Hobby Lobby and pay about $1 for 25 of them.
Oh, the other ones are better.
I like Plan B.
Yeah, that's what I do. And I love those little hangers, and you just slip it out of there. It's no big deal.
He's Cliff.
Put it right back in, and they're pretty neat little hangers.
People get all excited too when you tell them you're going to give them the hanger to go with it.
Yes, they do.
Perceived value.
I've had people ask me, say, I want to buy that ornament, but how much is one of those hangers to go with it? Ma'am, that hanger's included. For you, that hanger is included.
Yeah.
There you go.
There
You.
you go.
Value.
Well,
Very nice. Thanks, Dean.
Thanks,
Sales
guys.
start on now. All right. Really nice. And he got a good vote from Bob Moffett. That was really good.
I'll tell you
And-
what, that made my week, man.
Yeah. You got to look at this, when we got the best, say, okay.
Flattery will get you everywhere.
All right, Gerald Jensen just put the link to the Amazon hangers in our chat right now. So if you want to do the Amazon thing because you don't have a Hobby Lobby nearby, that's where you'll find them. But also, if you go to Amazon and you see it, copy the photograph and then go check out Michael's or Hobby Lobby and show them, look, I want this.
You can probably order from Hobby Lobby online too, can't you?
I think you can.
I
think
believe
so.
you can.
I couldn't find stretch cords at Harbor Freight and ordered them online. They're, the same price and they'll have it, whereas stores don't always have the inventory. All right, about 15 minutes to wrap it up tonight. If you got something to show, let our gallery master, Dean Chandler, know about it, and he'll put you in the bullpen. We'll show you a piece off. If you got a problem or you want to chat about something, this is the place to do it. We've covered a pretty good bit in the last 3.5 hours. I'm really happy with what we're doing here. Very good. If you want to add to this, take away from it, comment, whatever, remember, it's your club. We don't have a set of hard, fast rules, except you have to be nice, you have to be kind, and you cannot use any vulgarity.
Oh, that takes all the fun out of it
Because
right
we're
there.
all used to it, all human, and that's what counts.
I hope I'm muted. Oh, Lord, I'm not.
No, you're not. So whatever, don't use that language. We are collecting information for the members list. It's not necessary for you to be on it. It's not mandatory. It does not do a thing to change your position in this club. None whatsoever. It is a voluntary thing to spread the word, Turner to Turner, about who is turning. This password is going to be password protected on our website, and Dave will give you the password next week. It will not be in the chat. It will not be, and it'll be from Dave to you. And we'll do that so you can access this and get this information. And it will be in a PDF form. We're trying to keep the bots away. That's real important to us. I had something else about the gallery. You saw a fantastic 24-piece gallery tonight.
Really good.
Those pieces are amazing.
Incredible.
Just, I mean, the work we're getting. And
Hey,
we
Eddie,
have-
did I hear you say that somebody showed something out of colored pencils before I came in?
Yes.
If that person's still on, can I see it again?
No.
Right. Yeah, pop
That's
in
it.
there.
That was
Oh.
me that talked about colored pencils.
What'd you do?
I
You know, I
talked
own a few
about
colored
how-
pencils.
Well, I heard a rumor. I heard a rumor to that effect. But we were using them totally different than what you're doing. We're using them for actually putting color.
Uh-oh. You
Not
cut
put
out.
the pencil in the
Bandwidth.
work. Can
Oh,
you
we
hear me?
lost you for a minute, Trey. Say that again.
Okay.
You weren't putting them
We-
in resin. You were doing something different.
We were using them to take the color from the pencil and put it on the wood surface.
Oh, okay.
So we're using it as a paint, basically.
Instead
with
of a
three
mo-
different color with 3 different color pencils. We were using quality color pencils, but it would cost you $1,000. If you spent that money on what you're doing, it'd be $1,000 a bowl.
Oh, wow.
But how much do you pay for a set of pencils?
It's a box of 12 for usually about 50 cents or so.
Okay.
My wife will buy them for me when school's starting, when school's ending. You know,
Yeah.
that's when they're always on sale.
Yeah. So
We
we were
had
not using the student grade. I recommended the artist grade pencils because they have more brilliant colors and more pigment in them.
Oh, sure,
applying
for
it.
sure.
And you know, there's a wax base, an oil base, and a watercolor base pencil. And you can use painting medium to blend out and on the oil base and the wax base pencils. Most of them are wax base, which you probably have are wax base pencils.
I believe so, yes.
I think that's the most common one. And watercolors, you can use it just like you would a watercolor. You draw on it and spread it out with water and everything else.
Nice.
And we saw some really nice work by some people that used it to color some of their work and highlight some of their work and stuff. But it's the nice thing about it is you can apply it and then thin it out and blend it out there to almost be a dye back in the surface that you can control as you're doing it. So
Interesting. Okay.
you'll have to go back. You'll have to go back and pull the video up for this week afterwards to get all the details on it.
Yeah, I'll definitely do that.
And Dave Rose will break that out for us. So you have just that one little section when he gets it posted up. And that's what happens each week with our programs. Thank you, Trace. Really nice. We had a good demo tonight on that. And Matt did a demo on the bowls I mentioned a moment ago. Then he showed us a platter that he colored that was awesome, colored with colored pencils. And I mean, just really beautiful work. And some others. I mean, Sue had a piece that she showed us. We had another gentleman pop in here and show us, and you know, I'm terrible with names, so if I can't read them off, I don't remember them. But we get some beautiful work on that. And basketry on a turn piece, just like that gentleman earlier showed us. It was a small piece he turned, but he put a basket weave on it. It said it took him a long time to put the coloring on it, 4 or 5 times long it took to turn it. But I think he had his wife do the coloring. But that's a great way for you to turn a piece and decorate it for our bowl challenge. And if you don't like the basketry, go in something Ben Foe used to do some really fantastic carving and detailing on pieces. We lost Ben a while back. He did some fantastic work. And when you see his work and you think, I'd like to do that, you really have to think that the first thing he did was turn a piece that thin that he could carve like that. That thin. I've got a couple of pieces I turned before I had my tumor in my stroke, but I got them that thin, and I was working on the artwork when things happened. And now they're here. And when we move the new shop in, we're moving old stuff out, I might be able to find them, because that's a project. Yeah, take the NSK and the Pyro tool and, you know, and airbrush and play around a little bit and see what we can come up with. Decorating your piece would be very critical in that bowl competition or challenge. I want to call it competition. It's a challenge. Turn a bowl, send us a photograph. We'll put it in a gallery, and we'll see how it fares. I say this pretty often. It's a brain cramp type thing. It will force your brain to think about what you can do. We saw one tonight by Matt where he put that little turnout lip on it. That when you do that lip, when you turn it out a little bit, you have changed the direction of the light coming off the piece. When you change the direction of the color, the light coming off the piece, you can get a Chatoyans band. You can get a reflection. You can get a shadow. But you just break the line going up on the outside of the piece. And that one little break, one little outside bead, one lip back. Same thing as if you do a lip in on a bowl when you come up, round it over a little bit and bring it in. If you're a turner, you understand that that's a negative cut. And it's not as simple as doing a positive drop down or a positive pull up. You really need to understand how your tool cuts to do it. And your tool's got to cut. There's no scraping here. Your tool's got to cut. We also saw a little bit of the ball end mill with Matt tonight. Ronnie Bonnet was really ate up over that. He really likes using that ball end mill. And we had a couple other folks that had made them and haven't used them yet. They're a good tool for end grain hollow. In fact, they're the tool for end grain hollow. And it's a ball mill. You buy the ball mill and then you make the rod, you make it in your own shop. And you got a piece that's got 2 carbide flutes on it that you can change out in a heartbeat if you need to change it out. You probably won't dull it. If you keep it clean, you probably won't dull it. We had 17 gallery presentations tonight, and to me, that's a pretty good evening. It really is. And we're still collecting information voluntarily if you want to be on our contact list. And it's not like you only can do it this week. We can do this each and every week until we get everybody that wants to be part of our contact list. And it's voluntary. Dave Rhodes is our webmaster. Trace Lene is our host, because through his benevolence, we have this channel capable of 300 people in the evening. We ran about 85 to 90 tonight, which is pretty good. And it's a good crowd of folks. We're all here sharing information. And boy, I tell you what, the info we put on tonight was just outrageously great. If you didn't come away with anything, it's because you hit your pockets so close.
Or you didn't show up until at the end of the meeting.
Yeah, but hey, you'll get it on a repeat. You'll get it on a repeat. We're like CBS. It'll play back real soon.
I'm just bugging one of our members in uniform.
Ooh. Be careful, they have guns.
I might have missed something. I'm over here working on something, and I heard. Was he teasing me?
No, sir.
Doug, he would never do that.
Not a bit.
Now I got to go back and listen to the video for 2 reasons.
Right.
Hey, Eddie, didn't you mention that Brenda sent in a picture under novice? And she was the only one?
Yeah.
Well, we didn't
She's the
see
only
that.
person that-
And we didn't see that, did we?
We
Yes,
didn't
it
see.
was in the gallery tonight, but I
And that
didn't
was
put
a,
novice on it.
and that was a winner.
Ask again, please.
The
Oh, her
piece
pen.
that Brenda put in as a novice is a winner under the novice category.
Yes.
Did we see it?
We didn't see it.
It was the ink pens on the red cedar turntable. 4 ink pens.
Yeah.
Item number 12.
And
Yeah,
I
we saw
now have them.
Number 15.
Ronnie's got them.
I have them already.
Yes,
Dog.
Ronnie.
Huh?
How about that? Somebody was paying attention for the test.
See, Michael, is it Michael? Maikell is collecting pins out of Colorado Springs for Space Force. So that we covered another one, Space Force. And that's to thank our troops for preserving our way of life and our freedoms. And I'm really, some folks say you kind of ate up on that. Yes, I'm kind of ate up on that. I'm an American, I like the American way. I like what I like sometimes what this country does. But what I do like is it's our country. And enough on the politics. It's just our,
Eddie?
sir.
You said something early on and then just a few minutes ago that resonates with me. And I just want us to make sure our minds are clear on this whole issue. You've had a brain injury. I've had a brain injury. I find it tremendously interesting. That was one of my ability to turn was one of the first things that I checked out, and I never lost a beat. In fact, I'm not so sure my turning didn't get better after my stroke. I can't remember names. I have to look in my underwear to see what my name is sometimes. But the turning has been fine. And when we meet people who have had brain injury of some type, I think that helping them to come back, one of the things we can do is help them with whatever their hobby was, or even teach them a new hobby. This hobby of turning is a great one for somebody who, if they still have a little bit of hand-eye coordination, they can do it.
You're absolutely right. And the truth is, when after you've experienced, and Doug and I know, and a handful of other folks here know it,
Hey, Doug?
when you're coming back,
Yes, sir.
you don't know if you can hold something.
Doug, so your real name is Jockey?
Who?
I said your real name is Jockey?
Jockey, no.
No, he is way too good looking for a name like Jockey. I think his name's Calvin Klein.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
A few minutes ago, you said you had to look at your underwear to see what your name was.
Well, yeah, I'm, like in the military, you got to write your name in there.
So your name must be Jockey.
Nah, tore all those tags out.
When I was in, you had to put the last 4 of your Air Force number in there.
Yeah.
And
But
use that number
so
for-
often folks with whether it's a stroke or some kind of brain injury, if there's something artistic in their life, they're still able. We need to remember that, and when we run into those kinds of folks, we can help them get back into whatever that was that they did before they had their incident.
Doug, you say that, and my wife is obviously not a turner, but she had a bad stroke several years ago. She's an artist. And if it wasn't for her art and her paintings, I think she'd have probably lost her mind. But she spent months in a rehab learning how to walk. And as a matter of fact, the doctors told her she probably wouldn't walk again, and she walked out of the hospital. So, but her art has been a significant part of her life ever since.
That seems to be a protected part of the brain to some degree anyway. I know there are some who lose that, and I feel terrible for them. I know a fellow who was in a terrible car wreck who should have lost his life. Traumatic brain injury, and he has a PhD in art right now because he was still able to do that. In fact, he was a lawyer before his accident, lost his ability to make an argument, but he picked up the art ability. So it's pretty amazing.
You come with some gifts, and sometimes they just get they get honed to a point. And
Sure.
that's important.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Eddie.
We owe it to folks. We owe it to our membership and people we love to do just that. To share what would benefit them and help them get back. I get emotional with it. It was almost 8 months before I could walk. And the same thing was said, just, get used to the wheelchair, get used to the lifts and all that. And I went to the hospital I used before. I was not in there. And I went back to the hospital and they rehabbed me. In 3 weeks and 3 days, they had me walking. I walked out. And that's the will. When you have a will, that's what happens. Matt, you had something, sir?
Well, what I wanted to say was that one of my fellow club members is a vet with PTSD, and he works with a lot of folks at the VA and at his Legion Hall, and he's helped an awful lot of his buddies who have struggled get into turning and find ways to get grounded and find themselves again. And he says, one of his favorite lines is I've tried all those programs, this 12-step, this and that. And he said, wood turning is the only thing that has got me back into place. So it's pretty cool to see that people pick it up and come out of the shells and begin to function again through something like wood turning. So.
And you really appreciate what is around you. And I know what you mean. PTSD and some other maladies like such. When you're coming back, my illness really brought me to where I cannot remember a name whatsoever. It's just, and before I can remember your name, your address, and your phone number instantly and keep it. But I lost the ability. But I learned when I was recovering, I also lost my tact. And boy, did that hurt. Kids and grandkids will look at me like, well, wait, why did he say that? Because I didn't understand it, I shouldn't say it. So,
So that's why you're not very tactful today, Eddie?
I think so. It's an ailment, And I'm going to stick with that, Trace. I'm going to stick with that.
To add to what Eddie's saying, to me, he's amazing because y'all know what he's been through. But I'll have him in the car and he can't remember somebody's name. But as you're going down the street or going down the highway, he tells you, I built that building. I did this, and this, everything else. And he keeps pointing all of this out. And it's just amazing to hear him when he's telling you all of this. So that's part of never losing something.
Yeah, I told you earlier, it's like a steel trap, a rusty old steel trap. All right, folks.
Rusted shut.
Yeah, we're in overtime here, folks, and it's time to get out of town. I welcome y'all to come back every week and join us. Bring a friend. Please bring a friend. Send us a photograph of your work. If you got a problem or a situation and you want us to be able, you want some help from it, that's what you do. You send it to us and we will help you out. And above all else, and when you're going out of here tonight, and I got to change the screen here so you can see it, we'd like you to save the chat. A lot of information in our chat tonight. Go right over to the chat and save it. If you got that feature on your device you're watching us on. If not, it will be on our website where we put virtually everything else dealing with wood turning. On behalf of the worldwide woodturners.org and all of our members worldwide, I want to thank you for being with us this evening and wish you have a great week. And above all else, please be safe.
Good night, y'all.
Good
Good
night.
night, everyone.
Night,
Thanks for
everybody.
all
Have
the
a great
pins.
week.
Right.
Night,
Thank
everybody.
Everybody.
Thanks for
Night.
all the freedom pins.
Good night,
Night,
folks.
everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Night, everybody.
Good night.
Right. Be safe.
Hey, Eddie, I just noticed something.
And that would be,
When you put up your things that scroll across the bottom in the Worldwide Woodturners at the top, that's when your video gets really choppy. When those are not there, your video is great.
yeah, that's coming through my computer and I thought Macintosh fixed that today.
It's you were doing real well. Then when you put the save chat banner up at the bottom, you went to hit and miss.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.